Hey guys, welcome to episode 9 of the Blank Canvas podcast. I'm Jennifer Noir.
And I'm Mina West.
Thank you guys so much for tuning in. This is a podcast led by two creatives who promise to just have loads of fun exploring different topics. Right, so for our icebreaker this episode, I have this like really cool app called The And it basically has like different questions you could ask like your partner, your friends, your colleagues. There's so many options, even your parents.
Yeah.
And it just gives you questions you can ask for icebreaker, even for a first date as well. So I thought we'd try those out for this episode. So I'll ask first. So my question to you, Mina, is what do you love the most about our collaboration?
That's an easy one. I like that we're quite different because I feel that I'm constantly learning like new things with you, but also learning about partnership, if that makes sense.
Yes.
Because a lot of things like I've always done in isolation, and it's different when you can lean on someone, but also have somebody who expects to lean on you too. Like obviously we split up the roles and stuff like that, and I know there's areas where we have to challenge each other and be like, wait, have we done that? And all that kind of stuff. And I think for me, that is a lesson kind of that is valuable through all different areas in life. Obviously use it and work and things like that, but this is something we've birthed together.
Yes.
And it's interesting. And as anyone out there who's starting a business with someone or like doing a podcast with someone, it's all fun and daisy in the beginning. And yes, we're still quite new in this, but there's going to be not hard, but it's going to be bits where you might see things differently. You've got to learn to compromise, learn from each other. And I think it's a big blessing. I feel like you're helping me set up for other types of partnerships in life.
That's what I said to my sister. I said, I feel like this is preparing me for marriage.
I know. Because literally, I was like in my head, like even now, like the times I'm tired, and I'm like, I know Jen's going to tell me I haven't done something. And I know, I can feel it. So let me just like bake myself up early and be like,
oh, so you knew?
Yeah, I knew. Don't worry, I knew. I fully knew. Don't worry, I actually knew.
Oh,
but
gosh.
I know you love me, so it's okay.
I do love you. It's interesting because we're so different, so we see things differently.
Yeah.
But there's no right or wrong way, and we both acknowledge that.
Yeah.
But,
and I like that you're teaching me to see that there's actually no right or wrong way, because I'm so big-headed. Sometimes I'm like, no, but this is the way. And then I'm like, actually...
Because sometimes I'll suggest something, or you suggest something, we'll be adamant on it, and we'll do it, and it actually doesn't work out. And you realise that you actually have to listen to each other to see what works out. But okay, cool. So what's your question?
So my question, looking at the cards, I was going to say... Oh, that seems kind of similar, but... What was the scariest moment of your life?
Oh, gosh. Okay, I've told this story a few times, but it's been a while since I've spoken about it.
Oh, say it.
So I met this guy randomly somewhere, and then it was Valentine's Day like a week later, and he was like, oh, let's just go out somewhere. I was like, okay, cool. So he comes to my house. I was living with my mom at that time.
You ever said this story on the pod?
No, I've said it so many other times.
Oh, okay, cool. I was going to say.
So he comes to my house, he picks me up, and... we're driving, but we were meant to go central. Yeah. But for some reason, he starts driving towards because me and you used to drive to Uxbridge, that kind of road that we took together from Enfield. Yeah. He was on that road. And in the back of my head, I was like, what's going on? Should I say something? I don't know what to say.
He's on the M25 to central.
M25, but not going to central, going the other way.
Okay.
And I was like, where are we going? Mm-hmm. I was like, I don't know if I asked him where we were going, but he was just like very nonchalant, not bothered, just like, oh, blah, 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 we're just going somewhere. And then he drives up to this road, parks up.
Okay.
It's like a...
Yeah, continue. Sorry, I'm listening.
Residential area.
Okay.
He flashes his light twice. And then someone comes into the car. And I was like, what's going on? And then the person starts rustling in the car, in the bag. They had a bag with them. They were rustling the bag really quickly.
My mouth is open in shock right now.
I opened the car door and ran. I just started running. I even fell. You know in the movies when they fall when they're running? I was running. I was screaming like, somebody help me. I don't know what's going on. I've never had such a panic attack before. I was like, what the hell is going on? So I just ran off. And then he was kind of chasing after me. I had to call the police. And they had to come to tell him to leave me alone. It was really scary.
So he was running after you then?
Yeah, him and that guy as well.
And the police came and...
Yeah, police came and they did an amazing job. That's whenever the people say really the police are this or that, I'm sorry, but that night they were really there for me. So it's like, wow.
I'm that story is horrific, and I mean, God, thank God, like, you didn't, like, nothing physically happened to you there, and that the moment you saw an opportunity to run, you ran. Because, and you're telling me that story, I'm like, first, obviously, never ever putting anything on the victim or judging them someone. But
No,
like,
I should have been in the stranger's car.
What are you doing in his car?
Exactly.
Like, what are you doing in his car? And then obviously, when if you're down the M25, there is no opportunity to jump out. Even sometimes you may on like a random different street and you see people around, there's an opportunity, but that opportunity, there was literally no opportunity for you to run. So yeah, I'm just really thankful that you got out of it. Like, I'm sorry you went through that as well.
I don't know what was going to happen. Like, I told so many people at that time, I was like, I don't understand what was going on. Some people were like, you overreacted. Some people were like,
you didn't overreact.
I don't
because
know.
If you don't know someone and you've asked someone like, where you going, and they've done a flashlight, and then you're meant to be on a date with someone, and then you allow some random stranger to come in the car, don't even tell me who this is, and go, did he tell you who this random stranger was behind you?
No, I didn't speak to him afterwards. Like, that was it.
No, so wait, a random stranger comes to the car. Don't you go?
I was like, what's going on? But he wasn't saying anything.
I would have. Hey, okay, you did the right thing. You did the right thing.
Was so
you did the right
scared.
thing. I don't think you over-exaggerated. Like,
but do you know what? In movies, when people fall when they're running, this really happens. When you're panicking and you're running, your legs get tangled and you actually fall. It's actually crazy.
I had a similar, it's not a similar story to yours, but it was a runaway story as well. No, my thing was, I was young. I was 14, 15. I was walking through a park and this weird druggy guy started following me and trying to talk to me.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, and then because the way the park is, it's like a bit of an alley, and so it's just one long alley, so I couldn't walk back or nothing like that. I just had to walk forward. And then he just went in front of me with his trousers down, saying that he raped me. But because he's an idiot, I cried that day, but because he's an idiot, he had his trousers down. So that gave me enough time to run, because he had to pick up his trousers. And so I was running, and then because the way the park was, it was quite a huge park, and obviously you get lots of people walking their dogs around and stuff like that, but there was nobody around me at that time, so I was just screaming on top of my lungs, like screaming, crying, because I was like, wow, like, he obviously was a druggie, because, like, if he was a smart rapist, he would have probably grabbed me first.
That's quite scary, though.
Yeah, it was scary. It was scary. I don't walk through parks at dumb hours anymore.
That's the thing about these situations. As scary as they are, they kind of teach you not to do certain things.
Yeah.
Be a bit wise about situations.
It makes me think, I'm just like, it could have gone so differently. It could have gone so differently, but, I'm here. I can tell the story.
Yeah.
What's your next question?
So this question is, what is the greatest lesson I taught you? But
it's kind of similar to the first one.
Yeah.
I think you're still teaching me lessons though as well, like just teaching me that people have different viewpoints.
Yeah.
It's good to learn that, and also just there's lots of skill sets that you have as well that is really great. Like, you're really organised and kind of on the ball and things. So I think, and you're you're disciplined as well in that. I think that's really good.
I think the greatest lesson you taught me is to not stress about things. And just
is that a good lesson?
That's a good lesson, because
I have that.
It's a good lesson.
I'm happy it's a good lesson. I have that at work though, because people get stressed out, and I'm like, did anybody die?
It's true. So yeah, no, I like that lesson. Just take things easy. It'll all work out in the end.
Yeah.
All right, what's your question? Last one.
My last question is, what do you think is my best quality?
Oh, it's kind of similar to that last one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you're very open. Because you said
with that.
No, I mean, at the end of the day, all of our qualities, they can be really good, but they have their own way as well of not being great. But I think you're very open, because you said I'm so organised, I'm so structured and disciplined. I like that you're very open to new ideas, open to change. You see how I get if we're changing plans last minute. I'm not too happy about it. But you're like so super chilled, like you don't mind things changing. So I'm just learning from that, and I like that.
Oh.
Okay, so next segment is our exhibit, where we give a nice shout out to like really cool creatives who have inspired us in different ways. So Mina, who is your exhibit this episode?
Yeah, I'm just pulling mine up quickly. I want to make sure I pronounce their name properly. So it's this man called Lanray Malalu. Apologies if I butchered your name, but yeah, Lanray Malalu. And he recently directed and choreographed. Yeah, that's the word. The short piece called Figure, and it's all about black men and their father figures as well. And just the movement between those two is so amazing. There's certain types of people that don't do kind of contemporary dancing, and you always think, does it really tell a story? But you felt the story. It was quite compelling. Just talking about, and I think it's quite strong when two men are dancing together as well, but in a masculine way, talking about like father figures and the story they were telling. There was lots of pain and frustration going through that dance movement. It was very moving for me, and that's why I want to shout him out on the exhibit.
Cool. My exhibit is really cool. She's one of my favorite artists. I don't like to do absolute favorites, but her name is Juno Calypso. I've been a fan of hers for ages. She does this really weird art where she kind of plays with femininity again. Like, she uses females, she uses different kind of abstract objects to portray a message. So she did a really cool exhibition last year summer at Melissa Gallery, and I went. So I'll use that picture for our thing. But yeah, it was so nice. She had like different sections with these dummies, and they had these weird kind of lighting up masks. She kind of uses technology and water and just everything to like portray a message. I really like her work. Really cool.
You have some lit exhibits. Like, I'm like, oh, that's so interesting. I need to like.
Yeah, so do you.
Yeah. Yeah. Everyone I say is lit. They're wrong.
But I think you're more into more musical.
Yes.
Kind of. Whereas I'm more into imagery, like the actual. Yeah.
But I do like imagery stuff, so it's quite nice to visually see some of the things you've kind of highlighted. I
hear that. All right, so. This episode, I wanted us to kind of... I feel like we've been talking about men quite a bit.
Yeah, so do I, and I'm done.
And I'm tired of talking about men. I'm done. And relationships. So I kind of wanted us to kind of delve into ways of being creative.
Yeah.
Because something that really frustrates me is when I'm speaking to someone, because obviously I love art. I love every form of it. Every time I speak to some people, not everyone, they always say, oh, I'm not really creative anyway. Yeah. And that kind of... It doesn't break my heart, but it's just so sad to think you're not creative, because that's an absolute lie.
Yeah, I think... I'm not trying to be spiritual about it, but I feel
I know, I was trying not to go there.
But I am, that's who I am. I think God's like the ultimate creator, and if God like made you, and creativity is you as well. So,
exactly. So everyone is creative, and there are so many different ways to be creative. And what kind of makes me even more sad about it is being creative is a way to let out your emotions. And a lot of people have not tapped into that, so therefore they've got a lot of trapped emotions, unless they're doing it in a different way.
That's a really good point.
I just think everybody should find a way to be creative. What do you think about it?
No, it's like we started this because we realized we're both creatives and we like chatting. So obviously the podcast as well for us is another form of an outlet, but we get creativity through, I get it through writing poetry and kind of seeing different type of creative things. You get it through fashion, and there's so many other ways, not even that, there's so many other ways that I also kind of explore creativity. I don't want to even limit myself in that either. And people, sometimes, I think everyone's creative, they just don't realize the element about themselves. And I feel that if you don't feed that beast, it's gonna come out in the emotions and all that stuff. So I've seen creativity save lives in terms of like people have gone through some next mad turmoil and then they just put it in their art and it's centered, versus people who just like bun art. Like you always talk about, not even trying to be like typical with rappers and things like that, but how some people could have stayed in the trap house and doing crap like that, and other people harnessed that, put that energy in music. The difference it makes, obviously there's a whole nother battle between that as well, because they still got the money making mentality and things like that, and if it's not making a certain type of P, then they might want to go back into something. But there are people who have heard them say like, music saved me, art saved me, this saved me. So how much more so, like, and that's on a bigger scale, like you personally, if you're going through something.
I agree with you, and I feel like probably everyday people don't even know where to start with being creative. Like, where do I start? What do I do? For me personally, I started initially with painting.
I was gonna say that, I
love paint. Do you paint as well then?
Not as much as I would like to, but
once in a while. Yeah, same as me. Painting is such an easy thing to do. You can literally go to the pound shop, you can go to WH Smith, just get some paint. There's different types, there's acrylic, there's watercolors, whatever you feel like. Get something, get a canvas, and just go.
Yeah, because like I told you about that paint party thing I went to.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
It was really, really lit. It was really, really lit, and it was such an amazing outlet. And then I was even hanging out with my friend the other day, and she had a colouring book, an adult colouring book, and how it just kind of centered her. And I was like, I really want one. I'm going to put it on my birthday list.
At work, we have one near our printer, like a picture and you just color it. There's colors.
Yeah,
It's mindfulness, because the great thing about, I think that's what the great thing is about being creative, is because it zones everything else out and you're just concentrating on that one thing you're working on, and you're expressing yourself in different ways. And then also painting's not the only thing you can do. You can also write. You're a writer.
Writing.
So I'm a writer as well. So it's just, for me personally, writing is for me, even though I do fashion and design and all these other things, so far, out of all the artistic ways I've discovered, writing is my number one outlet.
Yeah.
It's the one way. Sometimes I'm fuming with someone, sometimes I'm deeply in love, sometimes I'm filled with so much emotion, and then I just write it down. And the minute I finish writing it, I feel so much better. It's like, I don't know how to explain it. I actually have a burn book where if somebody really pisses me off, I write them a letter, I cuss them out, I explain my point, and then I'm done with the situation. It's such a, I can't explain it. It's such a nice way to let out your emotions. Like, it's all out. And you also let out things you didn't even know you were feeling, especially if you're not someone that's so easily in touch with your thoughts. It all just comes out when you put pen to paper.
That's how I started doing poetry. Was just putting pen to paper and being unashamed of what I was writing, because nobody would ever read it. So literally just being like, this is how I feel. Write every bad word on the dictionary about people who I actually ultimately love so much, but I had to let this feeling out. And then I look back at some of my stuff, I'm like, did I really write that? I remember one of my original pieces, I literally had to scratch it out because I was like, wow, if anybody saw this, it might put me on therapy or disown me. I don't know which one it is, but it helped me realize I enjoy writing, and then from it so many other things grew. So, and
it can grow into anything. Like myself and you are classic examples. You went down the poetry route, and I went down the writing on the blog route. You can go anywhere. Literally anywhere.
Some people start writing songs. I like writing songs. When I was younger, I used to like always write songs, of choruses and verses and stuff like that, and sing it. And then my siblings would be like, you can't sing. My siblings are so rude, but I really enjoy writing.
It's honestly amazing.
When I was young, I used to play piano. Never tried to blame families for anything, but like I was cut from doing like my piano lessons because my parents didn't think it was important at the time. But I love music. I really, really love music. I constantly want to learn a new instrument. It's just time in life. But I love the keys. I love the drums, especially as well. And that to me is an outlet as well.
And then on the topic of music, it kind of makes me sad when, my sister's a classic example. She's got a beautiful voice. There's a lot of creativity in my family. And she doesn't really, I'm not saying go out and be a singer, but she doesn't explore it. And I know there's so much untapped talent in there. And you see that all the time with people, because especially people who have a voice, they can't even hold it anyway. By the printers in the kitchen, they're singing, they can't even help it. So it's like, you might as well just go and work on this craft and do something with it, because it takes nothing for you. It's so easy to you.
And it's something that's just naturally in you. It's
exactly.
bursting out. It's bursting out. It's a gift as well. It can be a gift and a blessing to others as well. You could be stopping other people. Because like, I'm such an annoying Christian who always brings me back to church. But like, there's a beauty when people sing gospel music. And I remember there's one girl I know, and she sings, and it has the power, for me, it has the power to break chains and to break down barriers and break down emotion. People go, when people are singing gospel music and you're worshipping and you start crying, it's just because the emotions are in the air. I'm like, there is something spiritually happening at that very moment in time. And I haven't just experienced that with singing, I've experienced that with certain people, like the dancing that I said that I saw, the guy Lanray. It was like, oh my gosh, I could relate to the story, and there was no words, and I could relate to that story physically right there. I've had messages of people send me about certain stuff, and I'm like, I could be selfish and keep this to myself or share it, and then hear other people have been breaking down and crying. Like, creativity has the power to break emotional chains, just not for yourself but also for others too. There's certain music that make me cry, and they can incite an emotion that maybe you don't even want to kind of entertain, but then also that you feel that you can relate to that, and
it's part of healing, isn't it? So with music, I think the religious is definitely an example of gospel music and other types of religious music. But also, we're just spreading your message. A classic example is Solange's A Seat at Your Table album, where there's a message that's going to really touch someone's life. I'm not going to say. And your voice is the voice that's needed to let that message go. So music. What else? Is there any other ways?
I was going to talk about things around, in a weird way, One thing I'm trying to learn more to do is embrace boredom. I know it sounds kind of a weak way to say it, but sometimes people aren't creative because they're constantly busy all the time and they're not even allowing their brain to have that creative thought process.
Okay.
Where you actually spend, so you mentioned in terms of like painting allows you to just be centered and still.
Yes.
If you're constantly being busy
Yes.
and not non-creative busy, like you've got work, you've got family, you've got this, constantly giving of others and not giving time for yourself to be still. I don't know if embracing boredom is the right word, but embracing stillness.
Okay.
Because then you are just stuck with your thoughts. And then your thoughts can manifest into how it chooses to manifest. Is it that I just need to draw and just colour things? Is it that I just need to be free and write with a free mind?
Yeah.
So that's how.
No, I get what you're saying, but for me, I think it just you need to make sure you're around inspiration.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So for me, for example, whenever I want to embrace being still, I would go on holiday somewhere on a solo trip.
Yeah.
Just to be with your thoughts. But I agree with you. You should just be with your thoughts.
Yeah,
and
there's
see what
times when you
direction
need
go.
that, because I find it really hard. I don't know. I find it really hard to write after a busy day.
Yeah.
Like my brain is tired. So even though I'm naturally creative, my brain is done and nothing can be formed out of me at that moment in time.
I agree with you.
Maybe it's right. Maybe it might be easy for me to paint or something like that, but it's hard for me to create new things like when I'm tired.
So what do you do when you're working on a new project or doing a new poem? How do you prepare yourself?
It's been really, really hard because when I first started writing, I had more time in life and things like that. And because I was just naturally had time, it was never I would go approach it like I need to write. I'd just be like, oh yeah, woohoo, I'm writing, I'm feeling free. Now that I have to prioritize and manage my time appropriately, I block out a day. I just block out a day. I don't make any plans that day. Which is always so really hard as well because there's always something to do. And what does a blocked out day look like when you still got chores to do around the house? Friends who want to meet you, friends who want to go and like, can we meet up? Can we do this thing? Can you help me with this? And he's like, no, I'm doing nothing today. What does that mean? But I physically block out a day and then I start typing out like themes that I'd like to talk about or themes that are in my mind, but purposely do my best to put no pressure on myself. Sometimes there is pressure because if I have to write for something, there's a timeline pressure. So that's there. But yeah, I just
that's what I find the most because when I write, I just write as it's happening.
Yeah.
When the emotion comes to me, if I'm going through something, then I'll write about it. So that sounds very hard, having to write for a specific theme or a specific deadline. And that's what kind of frustrates me about art and the creative industry, because creativity is not something you can time or force. You just have to take your time. It comes at the pace it wants to. But it's become so commercialized to the point now where I was just thinking about, for example, Solange's new album. It's fantastic, it's great, but I also don't feel like she gave herself enough time to produce what she wanted to produce, and compared to a seat at the table. And it's because of I blame it on the industry, because now you have to produce an album every couple of, it's just so forced.
Yeah.
You can't do something now and wait 10 years for your art to be ready and then produce it. It's even in fashion, basically you have to produce a season every 6 months. It's just too fast, and it becomes really hard to like be authentic with your art.
Yeah.
You know, I will get to that stage where it's just like, oh, it doesn't look easy at all having to now speed up your art when it's something that's meant to come to you freely, naturally, from the heart, and do it at your own pace. Now we all have this timeline.
Boy, I feel like you're preaching right now, because that's exactly how I feel, and it then makes you start to resent the art that you once loved. Because it's now become work. Much. It becomes work, and it's hard because you know you have this passion for something you want to do, and now you've got that pressure of going, okay, when are you going to release something? When are you going to do something? I remember, like, I'm like no one big there or nothing like that, but I've had pieces that have had the mini viral effect. Straight away, people ask you, so what are you doing next? When's the next piece? We're waiting. I'm like, leave me alone. And then I felt like I had to release the EP. I'm very happy with the EP I released, but afterwards I shut down. I physically shut down because I hated like going to write. I hate going to do poetry. I was like, no, I know I love this thing, but I need a break from it, which was quite sad. And even now, like, I do a couple of gigs. I love gigs, by the way. Love gigs, need to get paid somehow. But sometimes I'm like, okay, need to rehearse this. Need to be prepared. Need to get ready. It's physically becoming a job again. But I'm happy for it to be a job, right? I'm not happy for it to be my passion. That is kind of a job too. It's just hard if you're constantly busy, because I've got other hats I wear as well. And that's why I had to like change my work schedule for myself, because I just couldn't mentally do it anymore.
Yeah, I hear what you mean. And then not everyone can.
Yeah, not everyone
like
can do
me,
that.
for example. But you have to come home after work and still work on this thing.
Yeah.
And it kind of I'm not
And
gonna
that's what I
lie.
meant by being still.
Yeah.
Like allow. I don't never say embracing boredom was the right one, but being still, because you're always trying to hit that deadline. But when did it become that thing where something just new and amazing was created on its own merit? You know?
But then, yeah, exactly. And then it's kind of going into now, like, starting your own side hustle. Even when you are doing your own thing on the side,
yeah.
it's not like there's a massive team of people working. You have to do everything. And then the creative aspect of it just becomes like a small proportion of the grand scheme of what you're doing. And sometimes that can be a bit because me personally, with the fashion, I love buying, I love designing, I love the whole creating aspect of it. But then you have to do all the other stuff, like the editing, the planning, the strategy, the networking, the business stuff, the packing, everything, the advertising, the selling. And it becomes a bit like, that's when it becomes a job, because you're not just doing the creating that you just wanted to do, you're now doing a whole load of other things. Obviously, though, the art will eventually pay for itself and you won't need to do all these things, but you just have to endure it, which is just... But anyway, so then we can kind of talk about side hustles.
Yeah, but it's a lot, because your side hustle started because of the passion, and you know you have this passion for it and this joy around it that your regular job that currently doesn't give you, compared to something that is your own. But because it's your own, and it's because it's something you own, you have to be everything to it. So it's like you've got the passion there that you want to allow it to be enjoyed, but you have to figure out everything else around it. It's just like, feels a bit tiring. Right,
it feels really tiring. I'm not gonna lie. If I'm being honest, this was like therapy corner. Yeah. Sometimes I get a bit I'm so grateful for Blanc. It's really like it's making the steps, and I'm so grateful. Yeah. But sometimes I do feel a bit not burned out, but sometimes I feel like I'm gonna burn out.
And you are gonna burn out.
This week, I came home on Monday. I was like, you know what? I really don't know if this week I can do anything for Blanc this week. I just feel tired. I couldn't explain it. I just felt tired. I could not do anything. I could just about pack orders. That was it. Like, I was like, I'm actually tired. I kept lying in bed, and it's not like me. I know the average person comes home probably and just like, I don't even know what that's like to come home and lie in bed.
People tell me, I go, what are you doing this weekend? Oh, just chilling. What is that? What is that? I'm confused. Like, what is that? I want to know what that life is. I'm just chilling, just having a relaxing weekend. Gonna get home just to chill. I'm like, the time I get home, even like I'm really done for the day.
That's the thing. It's just there's so much shit, but it's a great thing at the same time, because it's like you are doing something that fulfills you. Because in my day job, I don't get to be creative at all, so I really need somewhere to be creative, or else I will. I need it. I totally need it. So I'm grateful for that. But yeah, there's a whole risk of burnout when you are starting a side hustle. But okay, with side hustles, what would you advise somebody who wanted to start something? Let's not even say somebody who wants to start something. Someone who has no idea what they want to do, but they want to do something. What would you advise them?
Oh, figure out what you want to do.
How do they figure that out?
No, how can I put it? Because obviously if you want to start a side hustle and do something, blah, blah, blah. Side hustles are not going to be easy. So you better have passion for that thing first. Like, it's not for everyone to need to start a side hustle as well, by the way. It's
so true. There's this culture of everyone feeling like they have to start something.
I have certain friends who are really, really happy, like, being with their husband and doing that bit in the house, and their side hustle to them is making sure their home is everything. It's not for everyone. That's what I meant, like, figure out what you want to do. Like, if you're not passionate about something, then why are you even trying to step into making money for the sake of making money? Because it will fall flat just like that. Because if you see like a lot of businesses have hard times, are you going to be in a position where you're going to pick it back up again, or are you going to go on board with it now?
Yeah, I agree with you.
And that's the thing. Like, and side hustle can be anything. Like, I have friends who are like are teachers, but they love tutoring, so they're starting their own tutoring on the side and things like that. If you don't have a passion for teaching kids and don't like doing that, the money can only get you so far, because there's going to be some quiet times. It's just
I agree with you. It's all about doing what comes from your heart, basically, your passion. Because a side hustle, the thing is, we don't know what the future is, and we don't know when the side hustle is going to take off. I believe everything takes off with consistency and perseverance.
Yes.
But in order to do that, you have to be passionate about what you do. It has to be what you love.
Yeah.
If it's not something you love or you really enjoy doing, you are going to start thinking, why am I doing this? You're going to weigh up.
You might even start thinking that when you're passionate about it too.
You're definitely going to think that you're passionate about it. But when you're passionate, your passion reminds you.
Exactly.
You love this shit, so don't complain. But when you don't love it, You're gonna be like, you know what, I'm out this bitch. Like,
Yeah.
it's done. So yeah, it's really important to start on something you want to start on, but you also have to ask yourself why you want to start something, because there is this massive kind of Kylie Jenner kind of culture of everyone starting some sort of business, and you see a lot of success stories and stuff. My friend the other day posted something on Instagram, and she was like, you know, just because everyone's starting a side hustle, don't quit your job and think you could just start something just like that.
I mean, and Kylie Jenner's a complete different beast. And even with Kylie Jenner, I know she loves makeup. So she's doing something that was actually right for her. Even, like, because there are also a lot of celebrities who start brands that nothing comes from it either. I'm not going to try to use Kylie Jenner as a case study, but don't think because she's doing something, you could just pick something up as well. Like, you best be passionate about it yourself.
Yeah, that's the thing.
I couldn't start a makeup brand because that would be a joke. That would be a joke. Because what do I care? This whole like pigment and colours and skin, and I'll just be like,
exactly. I actually have a classic example of myself as a person. So I started doing YouTube initially.
Yeah.
I did a video years ago. It was highlight and contour for dark skin.
Oh yeah.
There were barely any videos at that time.
And that
in the space of like a month, it went viral. It was like 25,000 views.
I remember,
It overwhelmed me. And I knew in my heart, this is not my passion. I can't continue with this. As much as I want to try, I know I cannot. So there's no point trying or starting something that you know you're not passionate about. It's so important. You have the passion.
What video was very important of that time? There was no videos like that out, I remember.
But in my heart, it was what I wanted to do. I'm not a makeup person. Like, you see, am I wearing makeup now? I'm not a makeup person at all. So no point trying. But yeah, so just do what you love. Okay, but if you do actually have a passion and you're excited, you want to start, what I would advise to do is to plan before making any action. Just have a rough plan of how you want to execute this, but also do your research. Say you want to start a fashion brand, say you want to start poetry, you want to start music, you want to start anything. There are people out there who've done it before you.
Yeah, there's nothing new under the sun.
How do you mean? Like,
there's nothing new under the sun. The saying, there's nothing new under the sun. So in terms of, you always bring something innovative and specific to yourself, but there is lots of things to research out there to support you. That's what I meant. Not that you're not new in what you're doing. No, but I meant like obviously like 40,000 years ago there was people making clothes. Just I meant like that's what I meant. Like, sorry guys, you're still innovative and new yourself, but I meant,
no, that's what you're saying. There's so much out there to learn from. There's so many people who've already walked this path you're going to walk. So learn from people, whether it's your auntie,
but you're still doing your own walk as well.
Of course,
because even in my field doing spoken word poetry, I'll be like, oh, this is what I'm doing. I'll look at lots of other people things, and I'll be looking at somebody else and be like, oh, I could do that. Let me do something similar. But if it's not authentic to myself, what am I doing?
So true.
It's not authentic to myself. So always be authentic to who you are, but learn from others. And
I agree with that. But it's so important to learn from others because you learn from their mistakes and don't waste time making that same mistake as well.
Girl.
If you have people who you know as well, that'd be amazingly great. You can ask them questions. And also, it's not always someone in the field. It can be just some mentor or something who just has really good ideas. Because my mentor, I talked to her about the fashion, I talked to her about the podcast, and she always just has loads of ideas. And she's not in any of these fields. Yeah. But she just has really good ideas.
In marketing, sometimes the way we will look at a creative brief is, I'm trying to think of something. We might look, for example, at chocolate and go, this is bar of chocolate, but what do we want this bar of chocolate to stand for? We want it to be a luxury, like chocolate, like something. Is Galaxy luxury? No, like Ferrero Rocher. We want it to be luxury and all that kind of stuff. We don't start looking at all different types of chocolate. We actually might start looking at certain fashion brands and being like, how did they convey luxury? How did they convey that? We start looking at cars. How did they convey premium and all that kind of stuff? So you can get inspiration from so many different types of fields. Yeah. I don't know if I went off tangent on that one, but it was just in terms of how you'll start a mood board and you actually can learn from lots of people. You might want to start something, but you're now learning that you have to be consistent and disciplined. Go look at somebody else's consistent and discipline. No matter what field they're in, look at certain people. Like, for some reason, I don't know if I'm talking about Rap Man right now, but like...
Gosh, you love Rap Man.
Who doesn't? But like, he's been doing it for time.
He should come on the pod, just because of how many times you've mentioned him.
I told him about the pod.
Did you?
When I met him, I was like, yeah, and I mentioned you on the pod. He's like, oh really, what's it called? I was like, yeah, have you ever listened to it? Yeah. No, he would. I might just be like, I mentioned you again. I might just at him on something.
No, at him, because he needs to just come down. Let's get this over and done with.
Okay, well, now he's friends with Jay-Z. He ain't coming anywhere. What do you mean? So get inspiration from, like you mentioned, with your mentor. Like, you get inspiration
from everywhere.
Yeah.
But for me, when I started Blanc, I'm not gonna lie, I already started businesses before and failed each time.
Yeah.
And one thing I learned from each business, I learned something new from each business. The first time I tried to do a fashion brand, it was just so low budget. I didn't put enough money into it. So I was like, okay, I need to save and have money to put into it. The next time I tried, I had the money, but I didn't really have a good plan. So I was like, okay, I need to plan and have money as well. Now the third time went well, but the only thing was, I don't know what went wrong. I just wasn't ready mentally to start something of that size. I was getting so many orders, I just couldn't handle it. And then I stopped. And I stopped. And then the fourth time is where Blanc came in. And now, like, what I had to do was basically save enough money, but also plan. Planning was a huge part of what helped me get here. And in terms of planning, it took me a year to plan. And I mean, as in saying what I need to achieve by the end of the year, break it down into months, and for each month, set your objectives of what you want to do and tick it off as you go. And then you eventually get there. Because it takes so long to start a business. It's,
I haven't really got a business like that.
And time and hours. But anything where you're like selling stuff, oh my gosh. Yeah. It takes time and money.
When I get to that stage, I'm going to be asking you. Money. There's some things like an e-commerce thing that I was meant to start, but that sounded long, so I didn't.
It's long, but if it's your passion, do it. It's so long.
It's more just make sure I'm always making money on other ways. You know, somebody might come up with
no, of course, I agree with that. Maximize your capital, ways you make money. But yeah, so I think planning is a very important part of it. Is one of the most important parts of it. The money will come one way or another, but the planning, like, you need to know what you're doing. You can't just be all over the place.
Well, you'll be like Fry Festival.
It's weird because they did plan, but they didn't.
They didn't.
They did.
Did they? Oh.
I think they did. It's just that CEO guy.
Didn't
I mean, technically speaking, if he didn't mention Escobar, they would have been on the island they planned to be on.
Oh, fair enough. Fair enough. Yeah, that's fair point. That's
fair
point.
Where it all went left, in my opinion.
Yeah, true.
Yeah. So maybe plan and be ethical at the same time.
Plan, and when the plan doesn't work, replan.
But what about you? What's your advice? So I'm coming from the whole commerce side of things.
Of when you're starting a side hustle.
Yeah. What about you from the whole where you are the service, the art that you're creating is literally you, your voice?
It's a hard one because, and obviously I mentioned about making sure you're passionate about it and things like that, but planning does come through it. But though you mentioned that you've had three, not four. This is your fourth.
3 failed.
3 failed. Yeah, I don't see it as you had 3 failed. I've seen that you've had 3, like, the journey has been you've broken down and you come back up and all that kind of stuff. Because though it might not have been called Blanc in the beginning, look how much it's formed and how much you've learned in the process. And because everyone experiences that. I'm not a brand that I'm physically selling something other than if people are booking me. But if you look at my videos from the beginning to how they are afterwards, they're completely different things because you learn the process. So my odd thing is actually for you just to start. Yeah. Like, it's actually just... One of the stumbling blocks I had with myself was that, yes, planning is important. Yeah. And maybe this is where we are different in certain ways. Yeah. But just start. Like, I remember speaking to one guy he runs a business and does a lot of things. He does way too much, I think, sometimes. But he's about his paper and he's about getting his name out there. And then I was talking to him about, I want to get this and this done, but I know I need to figure out this bit first. I need to figure out that bit first. And he was like, "You're doing too much. Just start. You like poetry. Just put something on Instagram. Just start putting content out there. Why are you being long?" And I'm like, "Oh, but it has to look good. Blah blah blah." You keep planning for over a year, 2 years, see where it gets you. Because in all honesty, with everything, everybody matures and gets better over time. It's gonna happen. There's no way you can start something and not learn from what you're doing. It's true. Not saying you. Whatever you put out there, please feel comfortable with it. Don't be putting things out there where you go, actually, I could have been better. There's one guy, Koji Radical, I remember he said to me, like, I thought it was so profound. Whenever he's on the stage, he gave his whole heart, so he gave his best performance regardless anyways. So whatever you do it with your best ability, but don't be afraid to start. And whatever you do start, yes, in a year's time, yes, maybe in 6 months' time, you'll look back and go, I could have done that better. Yeah. But then do it better the next time then. So yeah, my thing is actually just start and do things ethically still. Do things ethically. All the like stories I hear of billionaires and millionaires or people making business, they tell you how much they fall. They talk you about how many ideas they had that didn't even amount to anything.
They've literally tried so many times before they got it.
Or even like you hear the story of Coca-Cola for a whole year, they think they only sold like 4 bottles or something crazy like that. So yeah, and don't expect it to be polished the first time, because you're not even a polished article. You're not even a veteran in the game yet either to expect that of yourself. So don't be so harsh on yourself in the process. Enjoy the process. Yes, yeah. Enjoy the process. Another thing you already mentioned it, is to have like it's quite helpful to be part of a community that's doing it as well.
Yes.
As much as your friends are great, if they don't understand what you're going through, it is really hard. Like, you might tell them you're tired, but they won't actually know what you mean.
Yes.
Like, when friends, like, one of the things I was feeling so guilty, but I remember it was my fault. I double booked myself. I had a gig and I had friends. And I realised, I was like, I'm so sorry, guys. I really have, like, double booked myself and I didn't mean to. But I kind of have to go to this gig because not even that the gig was paying me mad money, but it also helps me get my brand out there, gets me out there. And I had a gig. So you guys, I know we want to go out. I know we want to catch up and just chit chat, but can you just be friends right now and come to my like show and things like that? So having people who are supportive with you in that. Yeah. But you have this level of guilt because there also might be a time where like, I don't want to see you guys because I'm that tired. Like, I just need to be in my own space.
So true.
Yeah, just pray for people that if you are starting side hustles, you have people around you who are supportive because...
But that's the thing, the whole support thing. I was thinking about that as well.
Yeah.
Because I remember a few episodes ago where I said, when I first started, one thing that kind of disappointed me was I didn't get as much support from my family and my friends. As I'm not saying all of them, but some people I didn't feel like got as much support as I wanted. But then I've been thinking about it. It's like, is it really your friend's job to support your side hustle like that though? Because they don't have your vision.
Yeah.
They're not really in the field or doing, I'm talking about my friends, doing anything like that. So they're not going to understand it. So is it really their job to support me like that? And funnily enough, out of all my friends, the ones that are the most, I get the most excited. I do have like just cool normal friends who get excited. But the ones that tend to get most excited or actually like really are like, wow, are the ones who are actually trying to branch out themselves. Because I feel like there's an understanding, like you said, there's an understanding you won't have unless you're experiencing it yourself.
Because people only see the finished product.
That's the thing.
You don't see when I'm crying in my room, like trying to figure out how to start this thing, or when I'm up late, all this type of stuff. You don't see that part of what I'm doing.
Like I told you earlier, my friend her book is coming out in April.
Yeah.
When she told me, I got tingles in my skin. I was so happy for her. And I don't think I would have understood the magnitude of this achievement if I wasn't trying to do things myself.
A whole book. After you finish writing the book, then find publishing, find a way of launching. There is so much behind that. It's crazy.
Yeah, sometimes that's the thing. So I'm less harsh on my friends and family. When they do support me, I'm really grateful for it. But it's not a standard to our relationship, and I don't expect it because not everybody's gonna get it. But it's so important to find your tribe because I found myself in a situation where I didn't feel like a lot of the people around me got it. And then I started this year to go to networking events where I meet other creative people, other people who are starting their own brands, people who are just starting, people who are way further along than I am, people who are at the same level as me. And it's like amazing how we sit down, we talk about things and we're moaning about the same things and we're like, oh my gosh, I've been through that. It's so nice being around people who know what it feels like. So it's very important to have your support network, especially people in the same field, not the same field, but who are grafting like you. 100%. I think that's it though. Anything else we could advise? But with fashion, I really feel like, even though you said just start, it has to look good.
It does,
people won't buy from you if they don't trust how it looks. Yeah,
that is true. Yeah, it's a weird one because, like I said, it does look good. So whatever you do it to your best ability and your best potential. There is always going to be an element of planning, but don't let planning cripple you to a point 3 years later, you're still looking back and going, I'm sorry because I haven't got this X amount of money.
Yeah,
do you know
exactly.
what I mean? Especially if you're like very early stages in, like start. That's what I mean. Start.
And there is always a way to start. Sometimes some people, I think I had this thing I did as well in the past. They put the bar too high. Yeah. Like, for example, if you're doing fashion, you don't have to have a website. You can start by selling on Etsy and Depop. You can literally take your way there slowly, take small steps until you get to where you want to be. You don't have to start on such a grand scale that it just takes forever to get there. But I think that's it really. Just plan well, not too much. Start.
I mean, plan. Like, plan. Even if planning's part of you, plan to your best ability, but start.
Start. Make sure you start. Yeah. Don't be scared to start. Just do something. Throw your art out there. Do your research. Have your community around you.
Oh, another thing I want to say as well is the big learning thing about it too. If you want to say I'm going to start this side hustle and you want to be an expert in this, please know it. Like, there's one thing about saying I'm passionate about it. Like, no, let me get it wrong. I'm going to choose makeup as an example because that's the only one that's an easy example to say. No, it's only one that's an easy one to say. There's lots of people who suddenly like makeup and love doing makeup, and I'm not saying that they're good at it, but where's the qualifications behind it? Do you know what I mean?
Well, wait, what do you mean by qualifications?
I'm just using makeup as an easy. There is the there are licensed makeup artists who've had qualifications and all this kind of stuff and certain things.
Yeah.
And I know I'm talking about the just start thing, but like when people start, I'm using makeup as an example
No,
because
go for it.
it's
It's
a
fine.
thing
Don't
that's
worry.
top of my head. Because for example, I can't get a qualification in poetry, but I still have to research and learn about the game. So research and learn about the game that you're currently in.
Yeah.
Like-
I'm not big on qualifications in art though, if I'm being very honest with you.
Fair enough.
Because
point,
there are a
yeah.
lot of people who didn't study it and are
Yeah,
the
that is
greats
true.
right now. But I agree with you. You need to know your craft. The internet is such a vast world
That's
right
better,
now.
yeah.
There are
Yeah,
too many
I agree with
resources
you. I
available for
agree
you
with
to
you.
not know what you're doing and not know it in detail.
I sidetrack that because there's some people who have qualifications something and it still looks a bit crap. So I actually,
It's not even
I'm
that.
not trying
it's
to
just-
at people. I'm just saying. I'm not trying to at people. I'm just saying.
But then, do you know what?
But-
When you don't get the qualifications, sometimes I feel like you get a bit of snobbery as well. Classic example is Virgil Abloh, who was my
Yeah.
exhibit a few episodes ago. He didn't go to study fashion. And every time I see people in the fashion industry try and put down his work because he didn't study it like them at Central St. Martin's. And I don't think it matters. I don't think you have to study it to know it. You can just... I did a biomedical sciences degree. Everything I learned is on the internet. You
That's
can
true.
learn it. There's nothing huge about it.
Thanks for correcting me on that. That is true. I think my main thing was do your research. No matter
Yeah.
what form way you do it, you can't say you're passionate about something and then obviously, I know nothing about fashion, right? But if I was saying I love fashion, but I couldn't name you the next like Louis Vuitton like main app, you'd be looking at me like what you doing? Do you know what I mean?
No, you pulled a very
Yeah.
good point. You need to know what
Yeah.
you're doing. You can't
Yeah.
just do it just because, oh, I did makeup one day and I liked it, so now I'm a makeup artist. Take your time.
Oh yeah, go look at the stuff of people on YouTube. Look at all the new brushes that are out. How much do I know about makeup? I'm such an idiot. The new form, contouring's in for.
I don't know
what I
what
mean?
they use these days.
I don't know what they use these days. I'm not even trying. I don't know why I use makeup as an example. It's the thing that came over my head. It wasn't qualification. I was talking about more like people who are doing stuff because they like doing it, but then they're not looking at what that industry is going about. So what's even of that? Because
So true.
I think the nervousness about that is that people start to bring that industry down. I can talk about poetry because sometimes I think people all of a sudden like doing poetry because they can think of some words that rhyme and go on the stage, but they've got nothing to say. I'm not even trying to be rude because people might think that about me. People might think that about me. I personally think I'm calm, but it's like but when spoken word is not even a big scene like that yet. So when you get so many people doing it who don't take it seriously, it then makes the arts look like a joke. And I don't know if you have that impression, like if bare people are suddenly doing it,
Yeah, no, it's true.
and then there's people
Everywhere.
who aren't taking. I would have loved everyone to do spoken word if you love it. Don't
But
do
that's
it
the thing. It
because
becomes
you-
just for money
yeah.
for people.
Don't do it just because it's like I saw somebody else do it, so I want to do it too. No, unless you love it, please don't touch it because you then start diminishing the art that I personally love.
So true.
And yeah.
And then also, I think you need to have an accountability coach. It's like a formal title, but just someone who you know is going to keep asking you,
Yeah.
how far are you with this? How's it going? Like someone who's just going to keep pushing you. Really important to have that.
That's nervous thing though. When you put things out there and people start asking you that question, you're like, go away.
It depends on who you are. Tell. Like, for example, mine was my, it still is my mentor. I tell her what I'm working on. And it's not because I wanted to make me accountable, but she always does. She'll always ask you, like, how's this going? What are you doing? And if I haven't, she's just always asking me, how's it going? And she means it in a very genuine way. And then also, when you are starting a side hustle, I hate that we call it side hustle, it's a side passion. When you're starting such a project, just be prepared to change your attitude towards money. All these fun little trips you go on with your friends, all these eating out every 2 seconds, all this shopping all the time.
Yeah.
You gotta drop it out. Like, you can't even be doing it as much unless you're like on a really high
paper,
salary.
Yeah, unless you're making high salary and it's just a hob, like just you got the paper to do what you can do.
Literally, like this year, do you know I did my first clothes shopping this month? This is the first time in a year. And you know me, I love shopping. I bought a dress. I was so happy. I was like, oh my gosh, this is my treat to me for just hustling. But yeah, so
I know. I feel like I'm in a space where I'm like trying to make money. So I'm like, obviously I love gigging, but I'm like, book me here. Let's just get money to
Exactly.
afford like holidays.
Exactly. I'm not saying you can't go on holiday, of course, but you have to kind of be wise about where you invest your money. But then also, when you do start something, whatever project it is, you kind of have to be prepared to receive some criticism. And criticism is not something we're always open to receiving. I know me, for example, whenever somebody says to me, I don't know why, I still do it today. I went to dinner with my friend.
Yeah.
And she was talking about the podcast to me and she raised a valid point.
Yeah.
but I could feel my body language felt defensive, like I'm ready. And it's like, why? And her point was so valid. But it's like, why is it when you're giving criticism, even taking and giving is just such an uncomfortable thing?
For me, it's not everybody can come give me criticism though. I need to know that you love me first, if that makes sense.
True.
Because
So
some
true.
people want to criticize, but you don't know nothing about it, so I don't know why you're trying to talk to me. I'm not even trying to be rude, but it's like, did I ask your opinion? But to be fair, I'm not acting like I get criticised that much. I don't. Because I don't like people who are just, yes, that's great. If I personally ask you for your opinion, then I guess I'm opening in that form of criticism, and I want to better myself and all that stuff.
It's true, if you actually ask for the criticism.
But yeah. And then some people criticize things that don't make sense to me. And then I try like draw it out of them more.
Give me an example.
Trying to give an example. Oh, okay. Because my example it's not even that mad of an example, but people telling me how much I should be putting content out there and things like that, or saying like the last video you could have done XYZ, but they didn't know the ins and outs behind it. Like, if you know how much it costs to kind of book a photographer, book a videographer, do this, do that, it's not something that I don't want to do, but it's something that I know they're coming from a good heart, but you always want to talk, but don't actually understand the process behind it. I don't feel like that was adding to the conversation more.
I hear what you're saying, actually. You're right. Not everybody's criticism is actually valid. If you're not, I don't know, it's weird because I get criticism as well. I get criticism for the podcast. I get criticism for my shop. And it always depends on, for me, how I see it is it depends on who's giving me the criticism. And if it's someone whose standards I respect. Mm-hmm. Whenever it's someone...
What you're doing? What do you do?
Yeah, but sometimes...
I sound so defensive right now.
You've got a point, but I never know where to draw the line with that whole people who aren't doing anything giving criticism. Because technically speaking, they're still a consumer. They can still tell you how it feels from their end. But then at the same time, they don't really understand what it takes to achieve just what we've achieved already. Mm-hmm. So it's finding the right balance. I don't know. I take on most criticism, but if it's someone who energy wise I don't even feel like they even support the art, there's no point. I don't even take it on too much. Like, I was kind of talking to someone and their criticism for the podcast I've had more than one criticism for this podcast actually. I feel like a lot of people expect, because the standard for Black podcasts is kind of like the receipts, 3 shots, very high energy kind of level of a podcast. Nothing wrong with it. It's absolutely, I listen to both weekly. They're amazing podcasts. But if you branch and I can tell when it's someone who only listens to black podcasts, because if you branch yourself out and actually listen to other podcasts,
there's lots of different
a lot of them are telling stories. A lot of them are very calm conversations. There's so many styles. Yeah. And people tend to try and put you into this one box of what they understand it's supposed to be.
Yeah, I remember getting criticism on the podcast because what was our first one on something about protect your energy. Oh yeah. But then we was having, I think Black China and Rob were doing something crazy, something like that. So we know how our conversation just flows. Yeah. Like, oh, you should have brought it back onto like, is Rob kind of going through like mental depression, blah blah blah. And I'm like, it wasn't actually that conversation. It was like just about Black China. I can't even remember what Black China was doing for the life of me. But it was they weren't used to listen to podcasts either. So we had the title, obviously, and we did talk about mental health in the beginning bit, but then that bit was just like hot topics. Yeah. And it was like, it wasn't a time for us to comment on Rob Kardashian's mental health because I don't know his situation. I can't remember what we were talking about, but we weren't referring to his mental health.
But also the way our show is segmented, we don't really talk about celebrities until way later, so we won't be able to bring in a celebrity just randomly for the point of it. But yeah, that's the thing. If it's a criticism like you could have discussed this or that, it's so minor, I'm not that bothered. But when it's like something we can take forward for future work, I listen to it.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. I mean, I've had people kind of, obviously a lot of people mentioned us about going on YouTube and actually filming ourselves properly, and I'm like, that's definitely,
I hear that as well,
something I would love to do, and it's something that we're definitely looking to do for the future, near future. We've got the YouTube page up already. A little side plug, we've got the YouTube page up, but obviously people need to understand there is a process in editing and getting that ready and things like that. So it's great to do, but we started this because we already have different side hustles of what we're doing already, and we just wanted to come together as a space for us to talk and share. So it's something we're gonna do.
We're definitely gonna do it.
Gonna do it.
Just like everyone else you've seen take their time. There's a reason it takes a minute to get there.
This is our 9th episode.
But my advice for criticism is don't be so quick to defend. don't listen to respond. Just take it in. Take it in first and then respond. Don't be defensive. And that's advice for myself as well, because just yesterday I was feeling a bit defensive about criticism. But why are you being defensive? They're not attacking you. They're just trying to help you.
Yeah.
But then I find it even more awkward when I'm giving criticism.
Yeah.
If a friend is like, right, this is what I'm doing and I want you to tell me what you really think. And I want to tell them, I will always tell you. There's no way I won't tell you what I'm thinking.
Yeah, you're their friend, so you have to.
I have to tell you. But at the same time, I don't want to hurt your feelings.
Same.
I don't want to bruise your ego. I don't want anything. But at the same time, I have to tell you. So I'll always tell you the truth, but I'll feel a bit bad afterwards. Like, I hope I didn't hurt you. But at the same time, I did the right thing by telling you the truth.
You did the right thing by telling them the truth. And that's good. And you're being a real friend, because I've got a little scratch at the end about people who aren't real friends. It's just really awkward, though. It's like, you want me to comment on something that isn't even in a field I'm in. And I have my opinion, but I don't want to insult you at the same time. So I always kind of frame it with a good first. Sandwich effect. I do good, not so good, end with good. I do the sandwich effect to be...
It's a way to deliver it, isn't it?
Yeah, great, you've got this technique kind of down.
Because there's always going to be good.
Yeah, maybe just more timing or like filling out, but be consistent and you will get there. I always kind of end with, but keep doing what you're doing, because I never want to discourage someone from not doing what they're doing.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah, I do the sandwich effect.
But if it was like total garbage, would you be able to tell them?
Yeah, I would, you know.
Would you?
Yeah, because you can't go out there and... Actually, if it's total garbage, I would tell you it's total garbage, because I'm your friend and you can't keep on producing crap. Yeah, I'm your friend.
It's true.
But if you continue doing it, I'm going to just support you, because that's what you believe your passion is.
Yeah.
This is more of a funny story. It's not even that deep. It was when I was younger.
Yeah.
I had a friend who thought she could sing and she always sang, and I just told her, you really can't sing, you're terrible, like you're legit terrible. And she goes, I don't know why you don't believe in me, Mina, like I can sing, like my mum says I can sing. And I was like, I'm not even trying to be rude, I'm doing this as a friend, you're terrible. And she continued singing and I was very proud of her.
Is she singing now?
No, but you know, she taught me something from young. Who was I to tell her to not sing, you know?
Yeah, that's the thing. When I'm giving criticism, I try not to tell people what to do. I just tell them how I understood it, because doesn't necessarily mean that what I see is what it is.
Yeah.
So especially if it's not if it's fashion, I'll tell you with conviction. Yeah. But once it becomes other things, I'm not 100% confident that I'm your target market to be telling you this, because I'm just your friend. You didn't know me through the industry, so I don't know why you trust my opinion. You shouldn't trust my opinion too much, to some degree, but not too much. So yeah, I hate it though. I really do hate when I have to do it. It's awkward,
yeah.
I try not to. But if it's my family, I don't mind, you know. I'll tell you it's rubbish. I wouldn't even butter it up. I'll tell you.
She tells me that on a regular.
Oh no. About what? Your poetry?
No, about my poetry. She's actually she's supportive on it.
So what's rubbish?
She'll just tell me just for the sake of it. She just likes to bruise my ego.
At least it keeps you human.
I don't even know why.
That's so funny. But all right. Oh, gosh, this week has been
interesting.
They're calling it Messy March. Like, what is going on?
Interesting.
Too much going on.
Where are you starting?
I think we have to, because of what happened, 2 episodes ago? We have to talk about Jussie Smollett. When I found out that all of this was basically not true, allegedly.
You know, I wanted to bring up in the last episode, but I was nervous because I didn't know it was fact. It was just fresh.
Yeah, he only just got arrested or something.
No, he hadn't even been arrested yet by then. It was something like
allegations.
So Charlemagne, and who is the one Joe Budden had mentioned that it's fake. It's fake, and I was like, that's too harsh of a comment to say it's fake. And then so it was a Sunday, and I was like, I'm not comfortable with us talking about it on the pod, because like, why would you lie? That's what I kept thinking. Why would someone lie about being?
It's even more frustrating for the people who got frustrated. We got really upset on this pod talking about it, and it was all for nothing.
Not it was all for nothing, because there are people honestly being victimized, being shamed because of the color of their skin, because of their sexual orientation. Is that the right word to say? Yeah. And things like that, and it's really sad. So it's stuff that's happening there, and that's where that heart came from for it. I just don't understand why he lied. Like, why? Like, you've ruined your name. I mean, I know there's still things going on. So, because he did really pay them for gym, like to.
So have they proven that he? What supports the fact that he faked it? I haven't really read too much.
So the thing about it is that at the end of the day, he mentioned that it was two white men with MAGA hats on who'd who beat him up and all that kind of stuff. But it wasn't. It was two Nigerian bulky men, black men, who he already personally knows as well, and has that relationship with them either through the form of like PTing and stuff like that. One of the guys has been on the set of Empire and all that kind of stuff. So things like that didn't add up. And then obviously he was talking about how like he didn't realize he had the noose around his neck for like the first, I don't know how long, seconds or something like that. And it's like, things that ended up, why did you go to the store? Blah, blah. Like there's things that aren't adding up. He might have been, I believe it was staged. I just don't know why you would lie, because relevancy isn't that deep. You know what I mean?
It's deep for them because their relevancy is their money.
Love of money is the root of all evil, mate.
I just feel like celebrities, the things that some celebrities do for attention, is just getting out of hand. It's kind of like what I said in my scratch out last time about just people wanting attention. Yeah. It's just too much. Like,
it's just really sad because like he got written off the last 2 episodes of Empire. Bayman, I haven't watched Empire since the first season. I'm not even gonna lie. I haven't either. But he got written off the last 2 episodes. But I know he's an important character of the show. Like he is to me Empire with the rest of the what's it called? The Lion family. Yeah. It's like Jesse Lion.
What's his name? Jamal or something.
Yeah, Jamal Lion, how cheer. So he's also affected his castmates as well to have to go through that process. Too, which is really sad. And then he's ruined his name. Like his name is ruined out here in these streets. Like for what? Apparently he's doing it because he wanted more pay. I don't know his reasons. I'm just more like, why lie?
Oh man, it's just,
why lie?
You know when you see someone
and then dramatize it afterwards.
Yeah. He did an interview afterwards, didn't he?
He did an interview because people thought that the talk about him accusing being lying started to come out. Like there was a talk around it, so he's trying to prove that he wasn't. But he had a gig, like I think a couple of days after his attack, and people wasn't sure if he would be able to make his gig, but he did make it. But the same story he was saying was different to another story on the interview. Like he was saying how he went straight to the ambulance, but another time he was saying that he just sat there for a bit and somebody else called the ambulance. Things just didn't seem to add up together. So yeah.
Wow. I have no words. I'm still quite shocked that he lied.
I'm just more like, why lie?
I don't understand why he did that. And it's a lie that's just so detrimental now. I don't know.
Why lie?
It's just sad.
Did he really, like, to the point I'm still trying to believe, did he lie? Because why would you lie?
It doesn't make sense. But they arrested him, didn't he? Didn't they?
Yeah, and then he came out on bail.
Like they always do.
But there could still be a case against him though.
Yeah. So. Well, we'll see. It'll have to unfold.
Can he go to jail for lying?
No, I think it's wasting police time. I think that's what the issue is.
Is that a real thing?
Yeah, in this country as well.
I mean, not that I was wasting police time. I was like,
no, it's a real thing. I think here as well, they get you for wasting their time if you do something stupid.
Oh wow, that's mad.
Because you are wasting their time. They could be, attending to something more important.
Like,
and
what kind of jail time do you get for that?
The amount of resources they'd have to throw in at this case because it's so high profile.
Yeah, but what kind of jail time is that for lying? That's just a stupidest reason. Imagine going to jail for lying. Like, what is that?
They'll probably get like community service and have it on his criminal record.
That's actually embarrassing. Like, do something a bit more gangster, innit?
Okay, and then I also wanted to talk about Jordyn Woods.
My girl,
Khloe Kardashian.
Jordyn Woods. Jordan, Team Jordan.
So
the way.
Why are you Team Jordan?
How are you explaining what's going on? Because how are you not Team Jordan? Are you Team Jordan?
I'm Team Jordan, but I know it's for the wrong reasons. But I'm still Team Jordan.
Really?
Yes. I think
Why do you think for the wrong reason?
I think I'm very pro black women.
Yes.
I can't help it.
Yes.
If I see one of us down, I feel it's so internal to me to defend my sister or brother. So I think that's the main reason that powers me supporting her, especially when she has something as big as the Kardashians trying to, low-key bully her, basically. But when she did Red Table Talk, to be honest, there were some holes in what she was saying. I'm being real, if I'm really being real, you believe her because you're is that team?
No, it's not. I believe her because the way she said the story, like, I completely, not that I related to it, but that California, like, socialite life is different. I even remember when we were at uni, sometimes there's a party and you really don't need someone till 7 a.m. like 8 a.m. You come back the next day. So I can believe her lifestyle is like that.
Yeah, I believe it as well.
I can believe that, like, literally I'm at a party and then we're going to go somewhere else. And like, oh, where are we going? Like, going to Tristan. And let's not, before I even start on Chloe, like, God forgive me, before I start on Chloe, she already knew Chloe and Tristan were broken up. It was facts. Like, the way she speaks it, she goes,
she said her ex.
She's like her ex. So
she was
there might even be Team Jordyn.
No, you
Don't
see what
worry,
I mean? You're being blind.
No, I'm not being blind to it.
Facts.
I'm like, she admitted that I was
Uncle
Will,
wrong. The whole, this was so Olivia Pope. I loved it.
No, literally, I loved it too.
I loved
when I saw her walk to the do you know who I can't stand?
Who?
That Jason Lee disgusting guy. He's disgusting.
Why?
No, he's there talking about, like, I know Jordyn did this. Are you going to go to... and why is she getting a table talk? Blah, 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 blah.
Did he do another video?
Yeah, he's been talking so much crap. And it's like, this is a young girl. Why are you talking? You're a grown-ass man. Like, why are you talking? I find him really disgusting. I'm not going to lie. I love that video where he's trying to take a picture of Beyonce and Beyonce's, like, trying to side-eye. Like, can you stop hanging around me? Have you seen that video?
No.
It's so funny. Like, she's, like, trying to get... Like, at the millionaires brunch thing that Jay-Z did before he's there trying to get a picture of Beyonce, and Beyonce just keeps walking the opposite direction because Jason Lee, you're actually a horrible person. I really think he's a horrible person because he's the one obviously that pushed on this whole story.
Yeah, he was the one that broke it, wasn't he?
Yeah, because he's friends with Lara Pippen and all them people. I don't remember, is that her name?
Larsa Pippen.
I keep saying Larsa Pippen. I had a point. I've lost my point.
Your support for Jordyn.
Yeah, so like that thing's happened. So she ended up at his house. Don't get me wrong, maybe you shouldn't be at your friend's, like, what's it called? Friend's previous partner's house and all that kind of stuff. But because everyone just hangs out with each other, it's just the way it was. She admitted that was stupid and all that kind of stuff. I'm going to actually ask you a question in terms of if you was in that situation, what would you do? And because that's a different, just a general conversation. Yeah. So what she did was wrong in that sense. But if you say you did love this girl as your sister and all that kind of stuff, this could have all been handled internally because there's been enough things that you guys have done and it's been handled internally. But instead you decided to publicly shame her because of a woman's scorn. And not that she's young, you take her in as a sister. Why did you allow this to get to as far as it did? Because even if this horrible man Jason Lee posted all that kind of stuff, you guys then went to the extent of having, like, that dumb girl Malika really got on my nerves, like commenting on posts and doing all this kind of stuff, and that was a bit.
That's where I had an issue.
Regardless if you're even black or white, why did you do that? No, get me wrong. And then because she is black, she got it harder in the media. Yes, I don't care because she is black. And why did you do that? Like, what is wrong with you?
I thought it was very unfair because so the news broke that Jordyn kissed Tristan. They kissed.
They slept together. That was the story initially.
Chloe comes on to the shade room commenting, basically saying it's true. I think this has always just been between Chloe and Jordyn. If it was just Chloe and Jordyn together, whether it's outside or internally, I think fair game, regardless of age or anything, fair game. But it's the fact that Chloe says something, Malika says something, apparently Larsa Pippen said something.
She's been chatting.
Kim's in the car singing what song was it? She was trying to indirect.
Yeah.
Like, they were all kind of indirectly in there. And it's so covert, and I choose to use the word covert, coming for her. And because of all of that power coming for her, you get the whole world being hard on this girl, being like, she's a slut, she's this, she's that. And I think she had to come to the Red Table Talk.
She had to.
And the Red Table Talk shows you how it's important for us to have black spaces where we can actually say what we have to say without being dragged, without being destroyed, just honestly being nurtured as we tell our truth.
I was literally like, I'm so thankful you had the Smiths. Like,
that's what was amazing. The Kardashians come for her, but she has an equally as big family backing her.
It was like I'm in the background and I don't know anything, but that really is my uncle. Like, my uncle has posted me on his page. Like,
I couldn't believe that. Like, she needs to blow. Like, bring out something quick.
It was like I've got, like, connections behind me. The one thing that I thought was really confusing, because obviously I've mentioned before that I love the Kardashian children and all that kind of stuff, and yes, I don't follow the Kardashian.
I might replay the clip.
Yeah, whatever. I do. I love the Kardashian children, but I've seen Jordyn and Kylie's friendship, and literally, like, Kylie really does, like, lean on Jordyn a lot. But it's like, okay, maybe I watched the Kylie show and maybe I know how they met.
Oh, does she have a show?
Yeah, Kylie had her own show, and Jordyn was basically the main star. It was only Kylie and Jordyn. And, like, to the point when you watch the show, Kylie has this like attachment issue with Jordyn, even feels like it, because to the point, the whole reason Jordyn was even moved into Kylie's house is, I don't even think Jordyn needed to move into the house. It's more because Kylie just likes her being around all the time. There was one day Jordyn was going out to meet someone and she was like, I really don't like it when Jordyn has other friends. Like, I'm her best friend. Jordyn and Jaden have known each other from young, and they were doing like, Kylie and Jordyn were doing this thing on YouTube and talking about how they met, and she was like, oh, I met them through Jaden because they had that mutual friend, and Jordyn likes to say that Jaden's her best friend, but no, I am. Like, she says things like that where she even goes like, that's my wife, it's my best. She even made a brand, like made one of the lipsticks around her. Not only did it with, she did it with her sisters, but then it with her best friend as well. Like, she is like, she was the first person found out when she found out she was pregnant with Stormy.
Also, when they did the Stormy video, it was not Jordyn narrating it.
So it's, I've seen best friends videos, they are like abnormally close to the point Jordyn's like, so in one of the videos Jordyn's like, it's a bit tiring being her friend sometimes, but you know how Jordyn talks, she's like very chill, she's like, yeah, it's a bit tiring, but it's what it is. Like, why did I watch the show? Oh my gosh, I sometimes need like dead brain space just to watch crap.
You don't need to justify it. It's what you do in your spare time.
So for me, the reason I'm Team Jordyn, even if she, I'm not saying, I'm happy she said that she didn't sleep with him, but even if she did or she didn't, it confused me why I didn't handle it secretly, especially as all the things Chloe has done to people.
The whole family, really.
But like, Chloe, I'm not gonna lie, Chloe is shady. When everybody was commenting things, I kept on thinking like, remember why her and Lauren London aren't friends anymore. Yes, that girl was your bridesmaid, and you don't talk. You don't follow each other. Lauren doesn't F with you anymore. Like, and those thoughts confused because Lauren's quite close to the twins, Malika and Khadijah. I know all that. I don't know what's going on in the world.
We don't know, so tell us.
I don't know what's going on in the world, but yeah, I know what's going on. Clash. I need help. God save me. Like, what's wrong with me? No, they used to like all be like besties. Like Lauren London never likes being in reality TV shows, but she was there on the episode of like when Chloe got married to Lamar. And so them not being friends was like, what happened? And obviously because Chloe being Chloe, she like, I think she kissed Trey Songz or something like that. Or she did something with Trey Songz, who basically Trey Songz used to be with Lauren. And it's like, you're meant to be one of my best friends and you did that. And I'm not saying because you did that, you then deserve to be cheated on. But you, big woman who's 30 plus years old, who's now coming for someone when you've done the exact same thing.
They all have though.
That was just, they all have, yeah.
They have taken black men from a lot of black women. I'm being honest.
Yeah, they have.
I am being honest. And
no, it's that
is a very important force behind why people came so hard on Chloe that other night when she said Jordyn is the reason why her family broke up. That was the main thing people were saying.
I was confused when she said that because it was stupid. But
she was probably very emotional at the time.
Yeah, but as big as Kardashian family is, you have a PR force behind you. Why did you say something as stupid as that? Because you literally got dragged. The picture resurfaced of when she was the pimp. And like the other girls were.
I know, I saw that.
I literally was like side-eyeing her. I was like, nah, what is wrong with why are you talking? After everything you've done, why are you talking? And it's not even that. This is not the first time he's cheated on you. Like, you actually had the power to at her on your thing, but then you're just saying.
But even when she came to apologise, so she first of all said some sort of tweet saying, why are you lying at Jordyn Woods, blah, blah, blah. And you are the reason why my family split up. Then she got dragged to filth that night. That was like...
she got dragged to filth.
Seriously.
I read it, I was like...
I couldn't believe it. I think the way they, they like to plan their PR, I think they planned it where, everybody will sympathise with Chloe and be upset with Jordyn, but...
Jordyn's like, it's not going to happen.
It became very racial, let's be real. It became very racial. It was a very racially charged situation.
The thing about it, I don't even think it had to be racial. Right was right and wrong was wrong. And
no, but if this wasn't a black woman that this happened to, this narrative would be completely different right now.
Do you think that if she was white, Chloe wouldn't have come as hard for her?
I don't think Twitter would have backed her as hard, Jordyn. If Jordyn
wouldn't have come to attack Jordyn as hard.
I don't think Jordyn would have got the crazy support she got.
Or even the attack she got. That's what I mean.
Yeah, I agree with you.
Because she had to, like, the whole thing.
Because the dragging of Twitter was Black Twitter dragging.
I really can't stand Malika.
Everyone's saying
I really can't stand her. I'm not even gonna lie. Like, you're actually anyways.
Everyone's saying
because
things.
when she commented and it's been like, I don't know why someone would go onto before the Red Table Talk even came out. I don't know why someone would go onto a talk, blah blah blah, and try blame drinking. I've done some bad things, but I wouldn't. I'm like, Kettle Black, what, you've done some bad things, so why are you talking in the first place? And then when you think about it, when she came on the table, she's like, I have to come because I'm getting threats.
That's the thing. And her family. She said she has to come.
And I have to come. Like, it's not easy. She was like, it has been real. Sorry, I think I'm going to try to talk like Jordyn moving forward.
Calm.
She's like,
so beautiful.
It has been real. Like, it's been real. Yeah, like, so this is how it happens, and my like legs were here. But if you see it, like, sorry, I'm gonna
see. That's where I started not believing what she was saying.
No, I was fully believing. I'm like, because from everything I've always seen from her, even on the Kylie show, she's constantly like chilled.
Oh no, it's not even the chill demeanor. I didn't believe the story. I'm being honest. You see, this is the thing. When I'm supporting someone, it's kind of like family. Yeah. If my sister does something wrong, 100% I have to back her. Even if she's wrong, I have to back her.
Yeah, I get that.
But I won't back her to the point where I'm not aware that she did something wrong. I'll still know you did something wrong and talk to you about it later. Yeah. But I will back you to feel right there.
I've had them,
and that's how I feel about Jordyn. I'm backing her 100%. But at the same time, that story didn't add up for me. I'm being honest. Why was your leg on his leg? Why were you guys so close? Why did he feel he can come with his big chest and kiss you at the door? It just don't make sense to me. But at the same time, I back Jordyn. It's just, I have to tell the truth. I told you I'm a scientist. I always have to deal with the facts. I have to tell the truth.
I get it. I believe there's other people there, and it'll be interesting to hear somebody else who was there to see what they say, for them to say as a proof point, because there are other people there to kind of help. Who's this source that said my writer saw this, blah blah blah? Can your writer speak? That would be really helpful. Because there's also comments that apparently they've been together for like a month before or something like that.
Who? Jordyn and Tristan?
Yeah, but I love how Jordyn
she was like, I don't want her situation.
I don't want that situation. Like, and I believe her. I'm like, she's like, I can actually get other people.
And she said her ex. No, I was like, this girl, she knows what she's doing. It was so funny. I'm sorry. As much as I support her, I have to read between the lines.
I was just so proud of her. And then the moment I was like, Jada Pinkett Smith is the best person to talk to, because not only does she love you regardless, she's just so gentle in her interviews. So she's like, when she was like, so there was no needy kissy needy kissy thing going on, like it's big girl problems. And when I've listened to a couple of her Red Table Talks, which I absolutely love, and she mentioned in the beginning like this is one of the hardest ones. I think so, like, was it really? But I think it's because she just genuinely loves her, because it was just a girl who apparently the news around that she slept with someone. Where she's on one where it's about race, one's about Scientology, one's about her and Will's relationship.
Yeah, it's true actually, and this is the hardest one.
And I was like, which was the hardest one? I was like, is it really? Jordyn?
Maybe because it's so high profile, she knew that it's probably got way more views than any other.
I think it's just because she just loves Jordyn. Like, she's known her since she was a child.
True.
I think it was just more of and one thing I got confused with the Red Table Talk. Jada Pinkett was like, it's put 3 families in like this, right? I was like, Smiths, when were y'all involved in this?
No, but they become involved in it when they're doing the Red Table Talk, 100%.
Fair enough. But it was the way she started. I was like, wait, why are you inserting yourself into this mess? Because all 3 families are really close, and this is obviously puts a dent in stuff. I don't know how she said it, but I was like, when did y'all become involved? You don't
the way they did it though, the way they started off that episode, it was just it was magical for me, because it's like they started off showing us how Jordyn's dad works on Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. They bring up the receipts with all the pictures showing Jordyn as a baby with them, just letting you know in their own way, we've got her back. I love that.
Come for her. Like,
I love that. Oh, I was so happy she was redeemed.
And that's why I couldn't stand Jason Lee, because he even ended up on the Real, and I was actually really annoyed that it was on the Real, because I value all the girls on.
He went on the Real.
Yeah, I value like how the Real present people, how people present. And Jason Lee with his big mouth was saying things like, "Oh yeah, she's left trying to find a job, And there's bless Jeannie. Yeah, she just sometimes always like entertains stupidness, and she's like, no, like I really want to understand what's going on. I'm like, why are you guys talking? Like, stop entertaining this type of stuff, because I would have been because Adrian was the one that confirmed it definitely happened, because she knows somebody. They all hang out with each other and they all know each other and all that kind of stuff. So that's why she's like, it definitely did happen. But Adrian chose to remember she's experienced Kardashian backlash because of the situation with her and Robert Kardashian and all that kind of stuff, and when she can't ever live because stuff. She had to reinvent herself, even though she, in her own merit, she's 3LW, cheated girls, this and that. So bless this Jordyn, because she's cheated with Tristan, all the backlash she must be getting on a bigger scale. I just didn't like the fact that they had Jason Lee on the show. I really don't like him as a person.
She got crazy backlash, and what I found heartless about it was the fact that they knew the backlash that she would get. They know the power of their platform and their voice, and they had no problem. Bless Kylie, she didn't really say anything, but they had no problem coming for her. And I'm so glad that it ricocheted back to them, and they now have to deal with all the shit that they created. They created all of this.
Apparently people were unfollowing her,
really? Or Chloe?
Yeah, so I don't know if she lost followers from it, because it could just be noise. Whenever you're out in the press anyways, you should normally get more followers. So I doubt that's what happened. But people are saying nobody wants to support her and all that kind of stuff. And people saying they're not going to support is just the black community, and I think they'll be fine.
That's why I was saying
they'll be fine. They'll be fine.
That's what I was saying. That I feel like this situation was racially charged, because it was mainly the black community that were the force at the end.
Black Twitter is strong.
Black Twitter is crazy strong.
I don't like Twitter, and actually I do like Twitter. It's just that certain people follow me that make me feel like I can't tweet anymore.
Really? I think you can hide your tweets from them now. Surely you can hide stories from people.
No, it's okay. Yeah.
What, like your church people?
It's okay. Anyways.
Oh my gosh.
So I sometimes just, because this was an interesting topic, I was like, what people saying on Twitter? And I was like,
Twitter was mad that night.
Twitter was mad. I was just reading it.
I was like, I was watching the movie, I had to pause it.
I was like, I'm not normally reading Twitter like this. It's a lot going on. And you're like, I can't even tweet. I was just like, this is good. This is good. Because her mouth said, it was you that ruined our family. Are you? People were like, do somebody want to tell her? Like, what's going on?
And then they started to do the whole free Tristan thing, because they're saying that Chloe's holding him ransom. Oh my gosh, that was horrible.
It was Jordyn. I'm like, oh my gosh. And she's a mother.
For Chloe?
Chloe's a mother, and so I'm not saying any woman deserves to go what she's going through.
Not.
I just think that what you tried to do to Jordyn, see now how this feels, see what happens, and also how you now feel. Look at the situations that you've had in the past. I know she makes it out like, oh, they weren't with somebody, but you clearly was a friend to Trina, and then you try to take, I think it was French Montana, and then you clearly was a friend to this person, and then you did this. In your circles it might be okay, but it's actually hurtful, so be mindful. That's the thing,
be mindful. This standard she's holding Jordyn to, her, and I always say her family, it's not just her. There's so many guys they've taken from girls, allegedly. And you're like, where do you get a place to now and get up? Fair enough, it's Jordyn. I can understand how they'd expect more from her, because not only is she very close to their family, she's probably benefited a lot from the family, let's be real. But at the same time, I think you guys came on way too hard.
I think the hard thing as well is that, though she's, from when I've seen her page and stuff like that, though she has benefited from the family, I feel like she doesn't want to. I feel like she's always wanted to be her own person. Like, from when I watched the show and stuff like that, when I mean, it really, like, she's known Kylie before Kylie was Kylie. Yeah. If that makes sense. Like, if you look very early on, the three main sisters, Kim, Courtney, and then she was friends with her before Kylie had any work done, so who knew where Kylie was going? You know what I mean? Kylie could have been in the Rob direction, like,
it's true.
Who knew what route Kylie was going in? Now Kylie's big blown up, and I feel like Kylie definitely clings to a relationship with Jordyn. Jordyn has had a successful dad her dad's also passed away, but knows people. Her best friend is Jaden and all that kind of stuff. She wants to do modelling, so she's starting to do modelling and things like that. She wants to get, she's also started her own brand, her own fitness brand of her own clothing, stuff like that. It was fans who asked, oh, when's Jordyn having her own lip kit? Like, Kylie promotes it more than Jordyn does. Yeah. Like, if you look on Kylie's like Twitter page, I don't know if it's changed now, it's still a picture of Jordyn. Let me check, actually. It's still a picture of Jordyn and Kylie together on her Twitter page. Really? Let me check now to make sure I'm not talking about. Because that's what I was like. And her own is just her own stuff. Like,
so you're saying she didn't actually want that spotlight? She wasn't trying too hard for it?
I feel like she wants to be who she is on her own merit.
Yeah.
Like, and you can't help it. Like, sometimes you do end up having friends who are famous, but I don't feel like she purposely tried to benefit from it. Like,
no, I agree with you, actually.
I even feel like she didn't even look, that's her Twitter.
Oh wow, so it's still there.
Yeah. Still there.
So that just goes to show.
Yeah, the whole people saying she got kicked out. She has her own home. Do you
know? She's actually already I'm pretty sure she's already wealthy. It's just weird that how people are acting like,
she has her own home. She lives in the area. Like, she has her own home. It's just that Kylie's rich, like a level of rich, but she's
rich.
comfortable. She's okay.
Jordyn will be fine. I don't think it's not looking like Kylie wants to cut ties with her, but obviously this is going to put a lot of tension on the friendship.
So I wanted to ask you, okay, so imagine you're Kylie.
Kylie, okay.
What would you do?
Kylie.
So imagine your best friend of life. If your best friend of life.
Yeah.
Think of that best friend in your head right now. Don't say the name out loud, but think of best friend in your life. Now
was kissed by my sister's ex-husband.
Let's
or
go
boyfriend.
sleep with. Just go.
She slept with.
Just say slept with like your sister or somebody else who's your close cousin who's older, someone who's very close to you as well. Family. Not close. Family could be sister or direct cousin. Someone who sees a sister.
Yeah.
Sleeps with their partner. What are you doing?
The thing is, it's weird because it's not my business. I'm not really involved, but at the same time, a line has been drawn, and you're gonna have to pick sides. My family is my family. I can't change my family. They're my family for life on this earth. My friends are my friends. I love my friends, but you can change friends. It happens all the time. Whereas your family, you can never. Even if I'm not talking to my sister, that girl is always in my heart, no matter what. I can't even control it. So I will have to, honestly, I'll have to speak to my sister first to see how she feels about it. If she's okay with me still having communication with this person, or if it's to the point where she doesn't want our family to have anything with this person, because she has that power. And
she'll
if she
be in that level of
decides,
emotions, though,
exactly. But if she decides like this is something she doesn't want to ever see this person again, or even hear that I'm with, because you know some people, even though you're not involved in it, by associating with someone, you're now showing you're taking that side. And I don't really condone that, sleeping with my sisters anyway. It's kind of wrong. It's definitely wrong, but if like it's like a Jordyn situation where it turns out she didn't really do anything wrong, this was all put on her allegedly, it gives more wiggle room to argue it. But at the same time, I'll have to go with what my sister says. If she says cut that bitch, I have to cut that bitch. There's nothing to do.
Because I was like, I love my sister. Like, she really tried felt down to me. She gave me an example of a friend I've been friends with like since I was 11 years old, and we're really, really close. And she's like, imagine if she like slept with my cousin who's practically my older sister, because we live together as well, partner. In my head straight away I was like, she's getting cut off. What kind of friend would try? Because if you know that relationship as well, how can you do it? And then I was deeping it because I was like, line has been crossed. But like, even me as a human, I've done I've done things that I'm not proud of. I've done things I'm not proud of, and obviously I've never crossed that type of line where it's like within the same circles of friendships and like family. Family is like a hard level, but can we deny and saying that cut of a friendship would be that easy?
It won't be, of course not. Especially if it's a close friend. It's like breaking up with a boyfriend. It's gonna be hard. You're gonna have moments where you want to go back. You're gonna have moments where you're gonna be very sad about it. You're gonna have moments where you're gonna be angry. But it's a healing process. You're just gonna have to let them go. There's nothing you can do.
But do you though have to let them go? Because the difference with boyfriends is that you can only have one boyfriend. You can have multiple friends, but maybe that friendship's now different.
I think there's so much opportunity to have good friends all over the world if you're open to it. It's people.
No, I mean, like, how can I put it? So, like, if you and your boyfriend don't work out, you have to break ties because you need to allow yourself to find somebody else to be a boyfriend with.
Yes.
It might be like, you know what, me and this friend, we might never be as close as we used to be, but I'm always going to have love for them.
Yes.
So, can a friendship of a different format still be there? It might be like, I've got to, like, not be as close as I was to you because I need that space.
In theory, that makes sense.
Yeah.
But in reality, with what I've seen with best friends, they break up.
Really?
Let's see what happens. I've never seen like a best friend who distance peacefully and are okay saying hi once in a while. It's like I see her when I see her. That's it. Like
I know.
That's a situation I've been seeing with people. So I don't know.
I honestly don't know what I would do because it just seems like I know I agree with you. Like friendships can come and go. I do really believe I know that some people are there for just seasons.
Yeah.
But there's some friendships that I have. It's only literally just a handful. That I'm like, no, they're really like my life buddy. And it might just be because I'm an emotional person. I'm that connected
but
to
it's
that
no
person.
longer about you now, and it's about your sister.
I know.
It's no longer about you anymore. That's what's annoying about it. And the thing is, at the end of the day, you have to be logical about this. Your friend knew that line was being crossed when they crossed it. So really and truly, what's done is done.
Yeah. I know. I'm honestly struggling. My emotional side is struggling.
Put yourself in those shoes. So if your sister, think of her friend.
Yeah.
Her friend was doing a thing with your man. You see now? And then, so your sister's still gonna be bringing her to the house to say hi and blah blah blah, or even just knowing that your sister's still doing ha ha kiki with her, it'll piss you off.
It will.
There you go.
It will. And because the feeling I'm feeling right now, my sister should love me and cut that friendship.
There you go. That's why I said my sister has to tell me what she wants me to do, because the power is now with her. I can't make that decision. That's her decision to make. Because it's her that'll be affected at the end of the day.
What would I tell my sister to do with the situation? I think...
Go bye. You tell her to cut her off, please.
I would tell her I need time.
To think about it.
I need time to get over this and all this kind of stuff. And that time might be 2 years. And if you feel that you guys want to be friends, then you can reevaluate your friendship in 2 years' time. But she needs to feel the sting of this friendship. You guys shouldn't talk because I need time.
Wow.
I need time. Like,
if I'm being honest,
I know maybe after 2 years I'm over it. I'm like, maybe she's changed her ways, because people change as well. And everyone deserves forgiveness as well. I believe
everyone gets forgiveness, but forgiveness doesn't mean you have to be friends with them again. You can forgive and let go. Me personally, if one of my little sister's little friends did that, I'm so sorry, girl. You gotta go. Because in my family, whenever my sisters are really close to someone, they come on holidays with us and all sorts. Yeah. So it's like, nah, you gotta go. You don't get all this benefit now. Bye.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry.
No, I'm actually 100% agreeing with you. I'm just going through the process of how hard that would be.
Yeah, what you said is the right thing to do, but I don't think realistically a lot of people can actually do that.
I would say give it time to... Just give it time.
That's crazy, because I'm not talking about Jordyn, but just the situation that you brought up. This person knew it was your man or whatever, and they still went there. That's so wicked. It is, though.
It is.
It's crazy.
Trying to humanise the situation again, because I know we're all Team Jordyn. I'm still very much Team Jordyn.
No, I'm Team Jordyn, but still. I mean, Jordyn, at the end of the day, it was him that kissed her, so it's a completely different situation.
Yeah, and it was just a kiss, like, Chloe, get over it.
I know.
If it was just a kiss. People still think that she'd been sleeping with him, but...
Well, there's no proof for it. And then Tristan's out here just not even caring.
That's the funny thing about it. With her mouth, she said that he's the father of my child, so I'm not going to do that to my daughter. I'm like, he don't care. And anyways...
let's just leave that topic.
Yeah.
But also, I didn't read much on this, but R. Kelly seems to be, justice is on the way
he's out
for
again.
him. But on bail.
Yeah, on bail. Like... Honestly, obviously, I want us to talk about it because I don't want to not talk about it because I'm not in the mood. I just want that man to be locked up. Like, I don't know how to explain it. Like, there is apparently a video out there, and luckily this time it's not going to go seeked out. Years ago, the regulations on like child pornography wasn't as tight, and that thing was literally out everywhere in America and stuff like that. I do pray that young girl's identity is secured and nobody. I don't need to
protect it.
I don't need to know who that 14-year-old or 13-year-old is.
Yeah,
but. Justice does need to happen, and I believe and I know there's a tape out there of him saying things like, yeah, I want that 14-year-old PP,
Really?
Yeah. So, can you just lock the man up and like be done with it? Because
this guy, what is wrong with him?
He's a paedophile. He is a problem. He also needs to himself go through therapy. He also himself needs to go through some next healing that he had when he was younger. But I'm happy to talk about it. It's just, he just needs to be in jail right now. He just needs to be in jail. He needs to do his time, and let's let it be done. They put a bail for him some ridiculous price, like £1 million. He still can't.
He's still great, yeah.
I was like, no, he's not getting out now. Yeah, and he is. You know what? I know we're gonna talk about Michael Jackson soon, but I feel like this has been the hardest like period of like the people you used to, and not that you should ever idolize anyone, but people you really used to idolize. Walls start to break down. When I rethink about Bill Cosby, yeah, when the news of him first came out, and I was like. Not Bill Cosby.
You always do this accent. Cosby.
Not Bill Cosby. But since it's true about Bill Cosby, and we know it's true about R. Kelly, let the fans also have peace. And not that I'm anyone important, but we've had to go through the process of like loving off their music, loving off their artistry, loving what they're about, trying to separate the man from the art and all that kind of stuff, and realizing we can't do that anymore because like who that person is, and by us supporting their art, we're also supporting what they're doing as well as a paedophile and putting all that stuff out there. I don't know why, but having Bill Cosby in like jail and stuff like that, or like locked up, it's kind of like, what's happening, it needs to happen. R. Kelly is still out here and you just like, you're disgusted by him, but he's still out here. Like,
I mean, he's on bail, so they will have to try him. So
yeah,
same as Cosby, he was out and about until he had his trial and like dates and stuff. So I believe it'll happen. It sounds like they're really serious about it this time, and they've seen all his bullshit and all his little shenanigans. So let's just see what happens. Hopefully, justice will be served. And then Michael Jackson. I don't know the date. They say they're going to release some sort of documentary about Neverland and all of that stuff.
Leaving Neverland.
Okay. Is it Oprah that's doing
Oprah.
This? Okay.
Oprah. I don't know what to say about that one.
I'm so.
Why are they trying to break? Why is
they're bringing the truth to the light.
I know they have to. They have to, and I don't want to stop that.
We have to be real. That's what I mean. It's like, it's kind of like the Jordyn thing. Like, you really love her because she's this and that, but you have to be really honest.
It's not like Jordyn thing.
Happened. It's not like the Jordyn thing. I just feel like sometimes when we really like someone, we are so blinded by the light that we fail to see the truth or refuse to see the truth.
I don't know if it. For me, for Michael Jackson, it's not even just like, it's the fact that I know that there's an industry and organization trying to come for him. Yeah, because he owns the right to a lot of music. Catalogs a lot of music and things like that. And he was very powerful when he was alive and very rich. So, and he didn't want to like conform to whatever. And it could just be conspiracy theories out there and things like that. So I don't know the truth. I'm not that important to be privy to that truth. But because I'm aware that there's forces trying to break his name as well, it makes it harder. And while he was alive, these things came out and he got proven to be innocent and all that stuff as well.
True.
So
well, let's see what they say.
Yeah, let's see what they say,
because it's kind of like the R. Kelly. I didn't really follow his stuff. I wasn't aware of how bad it was.
The difference with R. Kelly is we knew. And I think the sad thing is that we knew, but because people disrespected black women and even us ourselves, we always just brushed it under the rug. It was fact that he married Aaliyah. Yeah. There was a sex tape out there. It was almost like we've gone through all this pain, we've seen everything, yet we're just blinded by it. We're letting him still feed us music. We're letting us still feed us Step in the Name of Love and all that kind of stuff, and we allowed it to happen. I think there's actually a guilt within the black community as well, because we actually did know 10 years ago that this is how he was like. Whereas Michael Jackson is. We feel like you're trying to get him, but it's obviously true. Like,
the fact that it's Oprah, I don't know, that changes my understanding of things.
The fact that it's Oprah,
who is so pro black people, you know.
The fact that it's Oprah, it definitely makes you go, you better listen to this.
Exactly.
It definitely makes you say that.
So I'm gonna listen. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna wait till I don't know if they've announced the release date that when's coming. Once I find out. That weekend, I'm going to bang out Michael Jackson like no man's business. I'm going to get it all out of my system. When
I hear it on, I think it was the receipts. I think Tony was saying something around like, you better get Michael Jackson out of your system now.
It out of your system. Listen to it. Love it. Enjoy dance. Just get it out. Because I feel like with R. Kelly, it was like a rug was pulled. I didn't even know the show was coming out. It was like a rug was pulled up under me, and I can't even listen to Step in the Name of Love anymore because I'm just not comfortable with it. But this time, I'm aware that this show is coming out, and before I watch it, I'm gonna enjoy this music because I don't know what's gonna happen.
Were you R. Kelly before the show then?
No. I wasn't. No, actually.
Yeah, R. Kelly's been out for a hot second.
When Mute R. Kelly came out, I started muting him, but I wasn't aware it was coming out.
I won't lie. No, so like Mute R. Kelly, the movement has been around for a couple of years. I've been more like sensitive around the movement. I wouldn't actively listen to him, but if he was in the club, I'll be like, that's cool. I wouldn't be like, yeah, because I'd watched the BBC one beforehand, and because I'd seen news around it. But I won't lie, I wasn't passionate enough about it to be like, I'm literally muting R. Kelly.
Because now when I hear his music, I can't.
Yeah. It was like, and I don't really go clubbing out that much either. And he wasn't always on my mix. Aaliyah is on my mix a lot, but then like, her first album, but then her next album hasn't got R. Kelly on it anyways. There'll be sometimes I'll be like, don't sing his music, shut up. But like the sense of like remix to Ignition and things like that, like if it was on, I'm like in the mood for it. But I knew of Mute R. Kelly, so I wouldn't actually buy his music because it's old music as well, and I wouldn't actually see what he was doing. And then he'll be on the Shade Room quite a lot of like just being sexual, so it was quite comical. Like we'll be on the stage and girls are like touching his penis and all that kind of stuff. So it looked quite comical. at that point.
Yeah, when it started coming on the Shade Room is when I started to mute him myself.
Yeah.
But I didn't get the huge distaste towards him until that I saw that show. Because I never watched it. I told you I wasn't really following the story.
Yeah, I get that.
But once I saw that show, like, that was it. I literally can't listen. Every time I listen to his music, I think about those
That was
girls.
like the nail on the
I
hammer,
can't do
like,
it.
yeah.
So that's what I'm saying. At least with this Michael Jackson thing, we've had ample warning this is coming out. So,
but I need to see it with very like eyes to be able to digest.
But that's the thing. It's like 50-50. It can go either way. You can see it and think, right, these people are just coming after him. I don't care. But there's also a great chance that evidence will be served and you're going to feel like different about
definitely,
him.
if there's people being victimized and stuff like that, I'm all about
hearing the victim,
giving them the chance to speak. I know it's hard because he's actually has passed. I think the whole hard part is that he has passed away, so he cannot say anything about it. He cannot say his story. Only the people who his family members and all that kind of stuff who are around him can talk, and they will never even know as well. It'll be interesting if they actually have people who are close to him who are there as well, because the thing about R. Kelly the receipts were plentiful. The people who were clearly singing there, who was around him in the studio, who are finally coming out with correct me if I'm wrong, but with Michael Jackson, I don't know anyone who was close in his circle that can support that other than the family members who left their child there in Neverland. Who then later on we've heard them, they were trying to get money out of Michael Jackson.
I hear that.
And I think that's so sad as well, because if people really are victims, the people who are making false accusation and making it harder for the victims to make their story clear.
I hear what you're saying. But because it's Oprah, she would have asked all these questions already herself. So I just know, I'm just like,
Mama Oprah.
I don't know what the fact that she's the one that's on this, man, it's sounding some kind of way to me. But we'll see. I'm going to watch with open mind. I would ideally like him to not like be doing all these things that they're saying that he did. I really would just want him to just be Michael Jackson, for us to remember his music, because he's the most famous person ever, like out of all the artists. But if it is the case, it's really going to be very disappointing. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna cry, but it's gonna be. Do you know what I mean? It's just like, oh my days, really? Damn.
I might cry. I mean, because.
See, just thinking about it, and imagine after watching it, I'm just. We'll see what happens. All right, so moving on to other topics, trying to be positive. Let's sketch it out, where we kind of listen to your questions, things you're going through, and just give you our take, hopefully help you through it. So Mina, I believe you have one.
Yes, thank you to the person who emailed us at theblankcanvaspod at gmail.com. So this is what the comment was. It's a bit of a long message, but I'm just going to get to the question, sorry. First, I can't seem to stop thinking about a woman in the church. I did ask her out on Facebook, but she never replied, and I took this as a no. Do you think I am right to think that, and how do I stop thinking about her? So he's asked a girl on Facebook, and he knows her through church, and she hasn't responded.
So it's a no.
So really sorry to listener. I do believe it is a no, but I know that especially in settings where you know each other from church and stuff like that, it can be quite awkward, because like they're in church and you're thinking like how to go about it. For me, if you actually asked me out on Facebook, I probably would say no, because I don't use that platform that much, and I think it could be an awkward
if it was
platform.
someone you liked, you would not say no. That
is very true. But then I think sometimes women can I think I've got to give the worst advice of life, but it's a no. But doesn't mean it's the end. Do you know what I mean?
You can meet other people.
You meet other people, but if you already have a familiarity with that person through, like, you're quite blessed. You get to see her every Sunday, right?
No, because do you know what you're doing?
What am I doing?
You're enabling the psychotic, pestering behaviour.
No.
Because some people, when you've already clearly, it's a no. No, then they keep going.
No, it's not clear. It's a clear no, but sometimes you're not feeling someone, you feel something later. I'm not trying to be awkwardly persistent, but you get to meet that person, you get to see that person, at least start a friendship and see if there'll be something there, to the point where you should feel comfortable enough to actually ask them out face to face. Because if that person goes to your church, I know it can be really awkward to start like talking to someone, all that kind of stuff, but church, they go to your church, just build a friendship. Don't even pester that person that way. In that way, build a friendship. Let them get to know you, and you yourself even evaluate: do you see yourself with this person? And if you do, politely ask them again. face to face. The person didn't say no, they shouldn't respond.
but the thing is,
not everybody sees their Facebook messages. Who still uses Facebook Messenger as well? Like, who does?
But Facebook tells you if they've read it as well, so I guess we don't know if they've read it.
I don't even know.
But if they have read it, then it's definitely a no. And also, they said, how did they get this person out of their head? So
they did,
it's a deep infatuation already, and I just think...
Oh, yeah, you're right. I told you we give bad advice. Continue sending your questions in blank canvas pod so I can give you more bad advice.
No! Don't worry, I'll balance that with good. Gosh, Mina. But basically, I think you shot your shot and she wasn't interested. It happens to people. It just is what it is. There's so many other people you can meet and get to know.
So how should he stop thinking about her?
Go to a different service.
Oh my gosh, why are we laughing? This is so bad. Cut that out.
Am I a bit... I'm crying. I'm actually crying.
Put in some music.
Oh gosh, okay, yeah. No, but we have to be real. I don't like pretending with people.
You're right.
You have to give real advice. If my sister comes up to me and she's like, I really fancy this guy. I sent him a message. He said no, and I think I'm in love with him. If it was my sister, so this is me not buttering it, I'll just be honest. I'll be like, he didn't respond, so he doesn't like you. So all this love thing you're doing is a waste of your time. Get out of it and get out of it quick. That's what I would say to her.
Yeah, and just kind of like be infatuated with the word of God, baby. That's true.
There's plenty fish in the sea. There are too many people. There's so many people. There's not one person that you have to be with unless it's like God ordained. So I think you'll find someone else.
Amen.
I'm sorry for laughing. It was just funny because of me this face.
What laugh? You cut that bit out, don't you?
I don't want to cut it out.
Don't worry. I'm just going to talk crap. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So I've got one as well.
Yeah.
It was work related. My lunch keeps disappearing from the communal fridge.
Oh, really?
I'm sick of bringing in food only to have it disappear the same day. How do I put an end to this selfish behaviour?
Laxative.
No, you're not allowed to say that. That's against the law.
It's my food.
It's against the law. If they die, you're going to go to prison.
Do they die from laxative?
They might have an allergic reaction.
Cool.
No, it's happened before.
So I put laxative in my food. You choose to eat it. You don't know what's going on. So you, with your big mouth, choose to eat food.
My mom told me about a story where
that wasn't for you.
Somebody kept on stealing someone's food from work. So the person put
peanuts
poison in their food.
Poison's different. Poison's
person died,
evil.
and they went to prison.
Laxative just makes you poo. Laxative just makes you poo. Laxative isn't poison.
Here's what I would do, actually. I don't think laxative is a good idea.
Really?
I think...
Oh, my bad. Laxative.
No, I don't believe in drugging people. I think what you're
I'm not drugging people. They eat my food.
No, I get it. I get what you're saying. Obviously, it's stupid at eating your food, but here's what I think you should do. I think you need to go a week or two where you don't bring in any lunch for yourself.
So I'm
and
now
you
spending
just go
money.
just for a week or two. Prepare food for work, but what you need to do is overload it with salt and sugar. Put it in the fridge every day for 2 weeks. The person's going to steal it, keep stealing it, and realise that now it's just salt and sugar, or either it doesn't taste nice, and they'll eventually back away. I think you're going to have to be a bit tactical about this one, because it's a bit of a sticky situation. Unless you can prove who's stealing your food, it's very hard to address them.
I'm happy with salt and sugar and laxatives. I wouldn't put poison, but I'll do salt and sugar.
But how are you going to put... So what are you going to put laxatives in, say if it's like a rice dish?
I know, curry, and mix the laxatives in the curry or something like that.
But that's interesting. People who steal food at work.
No, but I don't understand, because you don't know what's in my food. How can we steal food from
Some
work?
people don't care.
Although there's some things people take, but I don't really mind that much. There was a period in time where I just wanted to drink almond milk. I had to go a bit off dairy a little bit sometimes. Yeah. And people drink my almond milk. Are you okay?
No, people do that as well.
I'm not mad at that.
If the milk runs out in the fridge,
yeah,
all the little cashew and almond crew, their milk goes down.
I remember I had honey as well. Yeah. No, the funny thing at work, I had honey somewhere for my oats, and the honey was going down quickly, and I was like, it's in my own little space, it's mine, by my cereal. And then one time I then saw the person take it. I was like, girl, that's mine. And she goes, oh, I just been using it, you know. And I was like, this is where my honey's gone. She was like, yeah. I was like, so you're gonna buy the next one? She was like, that it was like here, like I've just, and you don't even put a little bit, you be putting the whole thing there. I was like, so this is on my
People
hand.
take the
But
mick,
it was funny though. It was more like that hype because I'm decent friends with her and we work together, so it's not that big. But I was like, so you just been taking it? She goes, I just thought it was like it was there, so I took it. Like, my bad. Or when I have butter in the fridge as well.
Oh, butter. Ugh.
Because the annoying thing about butter is that I don't like how other people dig. Like, I have a certain way of how I slide it. So if, like, I come to it and I see a little bit of jam, I think that's rude. Like, who told you jam can be in my butter? Like, I didn't want that to mix, so why is it there?
Gosh, people are so funny.
Like, it's just things like that. Generally don't mind because I always buy something small, but still finishing it to myself is quite hard. So I'll be like, oh yeah, there's some butter, go take some, you know, like, whatever.
But at least you told them to.
Yeah.
They shouldn't have helped themselves. But
just so funny.
People do it all the time, you know. But in my workplace, I know that people don't steal people's food because if you steal someone's food, they will go off. Like, they'll be like, who stole my food? And they're going to send a passive-aggressive email, like, they're going to be like, who stole my food? And they won't let it go.
No, I love those emails, yeah, that go out to the whole business. But we get really bad ones. So, like, I don't know why. It's not me, but I don't know why. Like, there's somebody who don't know how to use the toilet. So people go out, they say, like, there's issues with the toilet again. Remember, there's spray if you need it. There's this. And I'm like, wow, that we're grown people. Someone has to send an email out to the whole business about how to use a toilet. But then we've had ones where, like, this food's gone off. Like, make sure you clear the fridges and all that kind of. No one actually does. We've never had a stealing food situation because the most is ever is a bit of milk or something. Like I wouldn't go and make a big jar of my honey. I just literally looked at her like, so you've been taking my honey? Like, really? Like, she goes, I didn't know.
People are something else, and it's in the big
funny.
Kitchen where you're gonna be seen. Like,
she did it so like strong. Like, she's collected my honey. I was like, it's you.
Gosh, but yeah, moral of the story: don't steal people's food. But yeah,
Wait,
find
so
a
what would you
way.
do? So salt. I like the salt.
The salt and sugar is what I would do because
I like the salt.
For
and
me
sugar.
personally, I'm thinking about it, if
I put a whole tray of salt in that.
Yeah,
like the whole bottle of salt in our food. Salt is not that expensive, like 40p.
Yeah, exactly. And just like
every single plate, eat it. Exactly. A little bit of laxative too.
And they're gonna when they get a spoon of that, boy, they'll learn. If you want to teach people, you got to teach them that lesson. Because I've realised people take the piss until you draw the line. It's annoying, but it's just how it is. So you need to punish them a little bit. But legally, no laxatives, please. Thank you.
I don't think laxatives is. I think poison's a problem. I don't think laxatives is a problem.
I don't know that you're allowed to put laxatives for people to eat.
Just had some interesting people in my life then.
I don't think you're allowed to drug people.
It's not drugging.
It is drugging people.
Is it?
It is.
Laxatives. But people have laxatives to help them, like, with their
I get that, but voluntarily.
Okay, listen to what Jennifer's saying because I might get you arrested.
All right, so it's time for Scratch Out, where we just go in on the things that have really just annoyed us or pissed us off. I want to start today because I'm still feeling quite amped up.
Go girl.
I am so annoyed with the people who give the church a bad name.
Okay.
And a classic example is that so-called prophet in South Africa that resurrected the dead.
What was that?
I had so many questions when I saw that video. I was like, what is going on? So for those who don't know, there's this prophet, I won't call him, he's not a prophet. There's this man in South Africa who claimed to be a priest who staged this whole resurrection of a man from the dead. And if you see the video, there's so many, I had so many questions.
It really looks like
the way the guy got up, he didn't even get up like someone who's waking up, which is what you'd expect from someone waking up from the dead. He like sprung up in the coffin.
That is God's power.
No.
Let me put that. I'm
gonna put it in because you're always so holier than thou.
Let me not put that in. No, but God has power to do that. Don't be wrong.
God does have power to do that. But
that whatever that was a joke. But yeah, didn't even mean. Sorry, God. Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie, but that was just. It's so annoying because now when I'm talking, because every time I talk to people about church and stuff like that, whenever they have something bad to say, they'll always bring up some extreme person who did something ridiculous.
And
classic example,
yeah.
That guy. And in the comments, you see people saying, that's why I don't go to the church, that's why this and that. And you're like, oh, we're not all like that.
Or people who have such a twisted view around money as well. Yeah. That always really upsets me because then people always have this idea that church is just out there for your money.
Exactly.
And it's like, only if you understood, like, God really don't need your money, but it's different in terms of where your heart is.
Yeah.
For the element to give and all that kind of stuff. But then, because I've been to certain churches where they're literally saying to you, the next person to give me £200, you'll be blessed.
That's the thing. That's what I mean. Exactly. The people who give the church a bad name, because you know, a lot of churches, we're just serving God and we just want to be loving and kind and happy. Like, we just want peace.
to be more like Jesus.
Exactly. But then you get the people who give us a bad name and make it look like, you know, after your money, practicing bad things, blah, 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 blah. When that's not the case at all. So yeah. That's my scratch out. What's yours this week?
That's a really good scratch out. Veto in it. My scratch out is enablers.
Oh.
Yeah, I mean, and I even want to call out myself in this instant as well. But I don't know why I'm talking about Malika again, because she really irritated me. But your friend was stupid and you just enabled her to continue stupid attitude. And it made me think about enablers and what does it mean to be a real friend? Not even, I know I'm making me think about it, but it's not just about that situation in terms of like, honestly, if I'm ever doing something that is not warranted or not of good behaviour, then God willing, I have good friendships around me that can really check me on it. Because I think enablers is just really like the devil's like handiwork, like just to kind of be like, oh, I can, if your friend tells you this thing's okay to do, and even, don't get me wrong, there's some friends who honestly who might enable you not on purpose, they just have the best interest in heart. I'm talking about the friends who, because they want to still follow you and be a fan of you and they don't care about you in that way, they care more about what you can give them, that type of friendship, and then enable you into just doing whatever you want to do and all that kind of stuff. I just want to scratch that out. I don't want to scratch that out of my close friendship circle, because you can be an enabler if you're like a fan of my stuff or like your friend or an acquaintance is. That's okay, because I'm not actually going to you for accountability and what I'm doing. I'm talking about people who you're meant to be close to. I'm talking about those type of people meant to be close to. As I was thinking about that scratch out, I was thinking about myself as well in terms of like, what kind of friend am I? If I'm saying that I want to scratch this out, then I have to really check the friendship circles I'm in and saying, I don't want to be an enabler of any of my friends. And I hope my friends love me, that even if I do check them on stuff, like they will.
That's the thing. Checking on stuff is the active word.
That's why you should only do it to your close friendship circle. I'm not saying for everybody. I'm talking about...
No, but exactly.
Because Malika should have been a good friend to Chloe and told her to shut up, not supported that crap.
But when I think about my friend, you and the Kardashians, when I think about my friends, I don't know why that thought came to my head the other day. Like, do my friends correct me? Do they tell me when I'm wrong? Do they give me the real truth? And I can confidently say that they do.
That's good.
There's some that don't, and I'm aware that they don't. But I know my friends that will tell me the truth. And I really value that friendship. And even my friends, my siblings as well, and my family, who, despite how I might feel, who will never enable me, they'll always tell me when I'm wrong. You know, if you're with a friend and they never ever correct you, that's a bit of a red flag. Like, it's a bit, you know, you can't, because you're not perfect. You do a lot of things wrong. You need people. We need each other to like pull each other up on things. So if your friends are not telling you, like, you know, this is wrong or this situation, you could have done it this way. And it doesn't have to be aggressive. We all have different ways of delivering what we're saying.
We all do different ways. I have friends who correct me, but they're such soft in spirit that is like, I want to be annoyed at you, but I can't because you said it so kindly. Like, what am I meant to do with this?
I'm trying to learn that skill.
I know. It's actually a gift.
It's a skill.
I think it's a gift.
It's a
and
skill.
I'm like, because I'm really harsh with it. And then my friend be like, you was really harsh on that. But it's because I love that person. Yeah. But I'm realising, I'm like, maybe I was harsh with it. Whereas my friend like, come to some next soft way, and I'm like,
no, but it's so important because
how did you do that?
No, I hear you, because with my friends, I'm that annoying person that always tells the truth, and I say it in such a harsh way. It's because I love you. I know if I bury up, you're not going to listen. I need to tell you, what the fuck are you doing? So sometimes I'm quite harsh with my friends and my family when I'm delivering my message, but it's because I need you to hear what I'm saying.
I need you to hear what I'm saying.
Exactly.
Let it land, please.
Even if you're going to cry and get upset, call me nasty, I don't care. I know later on tonight you're going to think about what I just said to you.
Exactly. Don't you love it when you say something? Yeah. Like, I have this with my sister sometimes. Like, I say something, she'll just be like, I really don't need you to say it like this right now. I'm like, but I've said it. I'm going, and I'll be like, okay, I'm not trying to be harsh. But you need to know this. Like, why are you sitting down doing nothing? You need to get up and do something. Yeah. I don't need this from you right now. What, do you want me to say everything's going to be a rosy dozy? Like, okay. Exactly. I know you want this from me, and I'm going to be big sister and give you a hug at the same time. But
I have to be honest. And it happens with my family as well. Sometimes they tell me things and I'm like, I'm even super defensive. I don't even want to hear what they're saying. But later on, please believe I'm going to think about what they said to me and really weigh up, is there truth to what they're saying? And if there is, I'm going to have to take action. So it's really important to have friends who kind of... I was thinking of family. I was like,
not trying to bait out my mother. I love her to bits, but when I'm a mum, yeah.
Why?
If my child's like a bit older, past 16, if they say something to me, I'm gonna try to hear them out because you can't tell your mum nothing. I can't tell my mum nothing. I saw this meme somewhere. I can't even remember what it is. The way parents apologize is there's food downstairs. By the way, do you want to eat? That's the apology.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Like, there's no
so
apology.
true.
It's like, there's food downstairs, you want to eat?
They actually don't
Like,
apologise ever.
Like, what's that? Or, I love my mum to bits. Like, say we had a problem about something, yeah, like a week ago, and I'd be like, Mum, but you said this thing and it made me feel this way. You always like to hold on to things. This happened so long. It happened like yesterday. Like, what are you trying?
But when it's their feelings that's hurt, everybody must hear it.
I love my mum. She's lovely. She's actually the best.
No, they are the best. But yeah, so it's so important to have people, so opposite of enabling, but who actually pull you up on your stuff, because that is what true friendship is. But yeah, I believe that is the end of episode 9 of the Blank Canvas podcast.
Do you know what the next episode is?
Next episode is out on the 19th of March. Please follow us on Instagram. We are at the Blank Canvas Pod, and send us all your sketch it out questions at theblankcanvaspod@gmail.com. So I've been Jennifer Noir.
And I've been Mina West.
Thank you guys so much for listening. Bye.